Everybody, welcome in. Good to see you all. Give me 1 second. Sorry. Welcome in, folks. Good to see you all. How are you doing?
Toes.
Hi, everybody. Good Monday. I think we're coming through on YouTube. 07's YouTube, Hate Monger, Astro Monkey. Good to see you guys. YouTube, are we live? Is there, are we coming through? Let's see. Sorry, still using a new service, so maybe it's not, sending it to YouTube. Can anybody? Okay, cool. We're good. Thank you. Appreciate it. Sorry, y'all. It's been 5 years running streaming. I still use chat as my reliable way to know whether or not the stream is working. Hello, everybody. Welcome in. Good to see you all. Having a good day. Spirite. Hate Monger. Fasten, I see you with the premonition for all beings. You should be a poet, sir. Hey, Tatana, good to see you. Welcome in, Space Guy, Space Marine PK, Vasten, Mrs. T, holding it down with the most flattering picture of me ever. Lurch Lord, good to see you, dude. Thank you so much for the sub today. Welcome in, everybody. It is day 4 of Drops Day. So if you're in here looking for drops, rest assured you can get them. And yeah, it's Monday, so we're gonna go over the news, whatever's been happening, the new ships that have come out recently, and Q&A, kind of, really anything that people want to talk about. We can just kind of chat about the things. I am not going to get the Alpha Wolf. Have they announced that today? They have. Cool. Well, I guess that's the first thing we'll be talking about. No, I'm not getting the Alpha Wolf. I don't really buy ships. Short week, Thanksgiving. Yeah, Thanksgiving week. Anybody got big plans? Or for Thursday or Friday? You guys going to see family? Planning anything in depth? I'll say this, my sorority pose emote, I think, is much more flattering than my close-ups. They added kits to swap between the ballistics and laser bespoke weapons. Really? So they're not just releasing this ship? Okay, well that's interesting. That'll be good to go over. 3 different Thanksgivings. Wait, why are multiple people going to 3 different Thanksgivings this year? Lurch, you're gonna ignore Thanksgiving? Not a holiday for you? We need to talk about someone no one is talking about anymore. We need to talk about how Master Modes has broken the game, and that Stanton Master Modes has ruined everything. It's all done. We're dead. It's over. Star Citizen is it's like 2012, we all died in 2012 and everything afterward is just make believe. Same thing here. We're all just going through a simulation. I guess the simulation is called Star Citizen though, so not wrong. Friendsgiving, family giving, and another Friendsgiving. Nice. Good for you, Beetle. Nice to be around a lot of folks. Are you like, is it like, have you already done one? We did ours on Saturday. We had our Friendsgiving, and it was freaking beautiful. Um, Great food, courtesy of Mrs. T. Good music, courtesy of YouTube. Thanks YouTube, put in so much work for that. The house. This was the first time we got to host our own get together, like for a holiday in general. Because we've been like we lived with my parents in America for a while, and we've hosted some things in Turkey at our houses over there. I meant in America. Because we've been so all over the place here, going back and forth, and we just got our place for the first time this year, so it was amazing getting to like not kick my parents out and try to like corner the living room to host people. And this time we got to control everything about the decoration, about the timing, about the food, and so it was a good time. And yeah, that was ours. And then normal family giving after that. So not quite 3 whole times, but you sound like you got a busy time ahead of you. You're hosting Thanksgiving. Good luck. Yeah, I think a lot of people don't realize how much hosting takes. From the littlest things, like the actual smallest things. Like, you know, where are people going to put their jackets? You know, it's yeah, okay, there might be something that's assumed by most people, but sometimes you don't have it, and you need to consider that before all the people arrive. And if you don't, then you're scrambling, and that causes problems. So like, being a good host is not an easy thing. And Mrs. Tomato's a very good host. I'm a good Sue host, I think. I do okay on being a part of it. But yeah, we love having people over. It's good. You got one dinner for your wife and you, one for your family, and then one for your in-laws. That's beautiful, Arctic. I hope you have a good week, friend. Hey Gyuza, good to see you. Hope you're doing well. Maverick, thank you so much for the sub. I'm sorry, I missed some subs here in the beginning. PK. I swear, PK, I thought you subbed last week. Well, either way, 24 months, PK just hit 2 years, dude. Man, that really time does fly. 2 years is... Wow. Thank you, PK, for being here for 2. Maverick, 27 months. Hell yeah. Also been here 2 years. Appreciate you, dude. Also... What was all that? Why did it make noise? Sorry about that. PK, or Maverick also been here. 27 months, man. Appreciate you. And Evan, 2400. I hope you're having a lovely day and a good stream and enjoying yourself this week. Thanks for dropping by, and thank you for the Prime sub. 2 year sub, but probably 2.5 years being here. Did you join us during a New Year's thing? Do you remember what it was that brought you into the garden here? Curious, dude. A true stalwart of the community. Trying to balance all the Black Friday shopping while allowing yourself to spend a little money on IAE has been quite the challenge. Does Star Citizen have Black Friday sales? That's what I want to know. Can we get some Black Friday discounts over on top of the IAE? Hey, what's up, Colt Kimber? Welcome in, Air Dragon. How you doing, man? Welcome to the stream. Welcome to the Monday. IAE is the Black Friday sale. I don't see any Black Friday. They just make them available. Maybe some discounts for the good people. Don't think so. Was before New Year's that you ended up joining the org. Mostly because of YouTube videos and wanted to get into an org gameplay. I see. Well, thank you so much for joining. Good to have you along. Got yourself a whole D? Wow. I wonder when the whole D's even coming out. Oh, sorry, that's really loud. It does engage FOMO like a sale does. True. How about, where's the buy one, get one free deals on Idris? Never imagined you'd find a solid group of friends from this. Well, I'm really glad you have, dude. It's what we were looking for. We just try to make a fairly comfortable place for people to come together, make some friends, talk about some things, be good to each other. Be good to each other, folks. The Clipper's calling you. Torn between that and the Alpha Wolf. If I was going to pick a ship, a new ship that came out to get this IAE, it would be the Clipper, hands down. I don't even really like the way that it looks, but I don't think there's a better choice. To be honest, for a solo player, it doesn't seem like there's a better choice in the whole game. It's actually quite impressive, unless you're aiming to do something specific, but it's a very good ship. We'll talk about it some more today. We'll look at the page for it and everything. Hey, Unloading Whale. Good to see you. Warlock, just watched you and Morph's video. I hope you enjoyed the podcast, man. Thanks for watching it. Thank you for tuning in. Proud of you getting your own place. You guys earned it. Thank you. Yeah. Thank you. Has there been a release of the chassis alone of the 22 and 21? I know you can switch out the weapons, but CIG never makes it that simple. I'm guessing either one will come with the ship. Good evening, Dr. XML. Picked up a Salvation. That's the second ship you've paid money for since 2013. Whoa. Why did you decide to buy it for the first time since forever? Yeah, they've made a lot of good releases this IAE. This is going to be, in fact, how has the funding been? So on the 20th, they made about $3 million. On the 21st, they made about $2 million. On the 22nd, they made about $3.1 million. And then yesterday, they made about $2.2 million. Today, I'm guessing it'll be back up to about 3. So 3.2 plus the 3. So in about 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 days, they're making probably around $12 million, $13 million. Not bad. Not bad. It's also, I mean, it's not blowing the sky up. It's on par, I think. Oh, is it on par? That actually looks like it's, okay, maybe it's not on par. Ooh, they made 14 million this year, so another 3 on top of that. But usually they're making like 20. Yeah, see, in 2023 they made 28 million in November. That would mean making another 14 million, double what they've already made in the next week. That would be pretty crazy. But as it is right now, they are currently, they're 5% ahead of last year's total sales already. They are almost 50% ahead of where they were at this time last year. That's... what? Dude, that's crazy. And then in terms of new players, okay, there we go. New player numbers, they are already 20% ahead of last year. No, sorry, that's not new player numbers. 31%. They're 31% ahead of last year. And if they play their cards right, they could actually reach as many new members in 2013, or as they did in 2023. It'll be close. If they have a big December, which with the gameplay releases they're looking at, they might. It is possible that overall this is probably their best year ever. It's already their best year in terms of funding. The only year that it looks like they will fall short of in terms of citizens is 2022, which was a crazy breakout year. Look at this May. 176,000 people joined in May of 22. So it's really quite something where they are. Yeah, the new player numbers also counts people buying alternate accounts. So it's not exact. It's not definitive. None of it is definite. Take it all with a grain of salt, but who's holy? You need some help with something? What's up? Crazy how great of a year it's been for them since they started focusing on making their game into a game worth playing. Like it's been okay for a long time, but this year brought with it a lot of content that actually makes playing feel like a good time. It does, yeah. Actually starting to turn it into a game experience has really helped with bringing more people in, yeah. Good morning, Rodon. Loving the Clipper video shoot of side interior they did. Ship isn't small at all. Oh, I haven't watched the Clipper video yet. We can do that together. Salvation's cheap. You just wanted something for casual gameplay loop when you're just chilling. I get you. Your Twitch account is linked to RSI, but it says it's still not connected to your Twitch. There you go. Just check on the RSI website. Twitch can be a little weird, I guess. It sounds like people have been having some regular problems with them. What's up, Solo Shot? Squared 2, welcome in. Good to see y'all. We still have a giveaway going on, folks. I think... You know what? I think maybe, Mrs. Tomato, could you see if we maybe know what our surprise ship is? We can let the good folks know. Salvation would have been an instant buy had they not released the Vulture years ago. Yeah, but if they hadn't released the Vulture, then it'd still be a concept. XML, you got yourself a, you got yourself the drop? How is the armor that comes with the drop? Is it good? $15 for weapon kits. Hope they are available in-game soon. $15 for weapon kit. They're doing $20 for skins. They really gets up there. Would love the wolf, but a little sad there's no war bond discount for CCUs to it or the golem. It could be a wolf. I don't know. Oh yeah, it's the guy. It's the Geist armor, but like, does it look good in game? I think it would be cool to have a Salvation army in game. Just buy a whole bunch of Salvations, get like 20 of your friends, and then go out there and swarm derelicts, or not even derelicts. You could just swarm other people's. You can swarm other people's ships while they're still flying around. Decent set. You just use the helmet and backpack with the heavy set from the patch bundle. That looks better. I see. The armor looks cool, but armor right now in game isn't great as the NPCs are super deadly. Yeah, I hear things are a lot harder in 4.4 in terms of NPC difficulty. It's light, which is insta-death. This also means you can't carry too much stuff. Oh yeah, ghost designs. You gotta remember, when we say friends in Star Citizen, we just mean random people that you've yelled at enough to get to come play with you. Don't worry, you don't actually have to know them. NPCs are using the meta weapons. I feel like they're always using what are they called? C50s. Gemini C50? Something like that. There are no friends in SC, only victims of financial crimes. And FOMO. You have several instances of them shooting through cover and windows. Oh, well that's good. I mean, Windows, you know, if you open it, should be able to shoot through. We haven't compared the L21 or 22. We were going to get started on that soon. Yeah, NPCs definitely have wall hacks in the game. That's been a regular thing for a while. They know kind of where, I think it's sort of like when you make noise, they detect the audible signature, and they are not made to ignore they're not made to ignore the fact that they can't see through walls. C54, thank you. I was just looking at this and I realized we're about to hit a $900 million. Should you buy the L22 or just buy it in game? I would buy it in game. Articles and Reddit posts, man. Let's talk about it. So, It is November of 2025. Star Citizen has been in development for 13 years now, going on 13, and still it goes strong. It's funny because a lot of times people will ask, why are folks still giving them money? And many times people are convinced that it's like the same group of 2,000 people giving money for the last 12 years. While there are plenty of people who jump in and give money on top of money, a lot of folks are just buying like a $50 ship, a $90 ship, a $120 ship, maybe a couple of those, but I don't think most people are getting like the really expensive stuff. Now, that being said, we're going to look at why they've been making so much money over the last few days, why they've made so much this year, and where it's headed. One of those reasons is a big ship, but genuinely, a lot of the sales they make are from things that aren't like the whale ship you would think of. For instance, day 3 of IAE here was Drake Day, with the release of the Clipper. Obviously, they also had some other ships that were pretty large, and we can't break it out as far as which ships everybody has bought, but I would bet that by the reaction to the Clipper's release, a lot of people bought that, and that is putting in a lot of money into the game. But that's not why they've been making money all year. Now, if you look at their overall trend of funding, as we've seen, this is actually citizens. So we're looking at new accounts made, new players joining the game here. It was relatively, balanced up until about 2020. 2016 was a pretty big year, but up until 2019, things were pretty much level. You'll see this in funding as well as in the citizens. But in 2020, they added baby persistence and the pandemic took hold, so a lot more people got eyes on the game. And when people get eyes on this game, as much as you may have heard on the internet, a lot of those people get convinced to give it a try. And that's probably why they're doing Twitch drops now. It's why they're doing a whole bunch of marketing that's more geared towards more casual players. But you can see that the number of new players went up over time, peaking in 2022 and then dropping off a little bit after that. That's because 2022, specifically in May, had a lot of big YouTubers and Twitch streamers and folks just giving it a lot more attention. Once again, pushing it in front of people's eyes. And when it gets in front of people's eyes, it does convince people. But let's look at the money. So from the money side of things, you can see that it was mostly the same. Going up to 2016 and beyond, everything was pretty much stable. They were doing about the same amount every year. And then in 2020, once again, like I said, a lot more people got eyes on the game. A lot more people felt like it was becoming a game. Prior to the patch in, I think it was March of 2020, every single update that came out, every 3 months, every quarter, an update would come out and it would wipe all of your progress. So think about how right now you don't want to work towards a Wicklow thing because, oh, hey, Mrs. Tomato, can you see if we know what the ship, our giveaway ship is now? Thank you. Right now, when you think about going to play the game, you're probably thinking about if you're going to lose some stuff. You look at Onyx Facility or Wicklow. Oh, we do. Cool. All right, y'all. We're going to find out what the ship is for the giveaway. And that really threw people off. Nobody wanted to go into the game, and let me just actually, let's take even a further step back. I'm sorry, I'm getting ahead of myself. In 2018, like, I think a lot of people look at Star Citizen, and because the first things you hear is that it's been in development a long time and it's taken a lot of money, people believe that it's just been like a linear path for 12 years. Star Citizen has just been, oh, it's a Drake Clipper, y'all. Get at it. Our surprise ship for the giveaway for IAE is the Drake Clipper. It is literally like the best ship that's ever been released to Star Citizen, so make sure to get your points and entries in for that one. That's a good choice. Exclamation point giveaway will make the link pop up. And I am going to make the most out of that until I have to give it away to somebody, because look, y'all, I'm not a Drake fan. I'm not a Drake fan, but I think the Clipper might actually be, I don't want to say my favorite ship in the game, but it's close. It's very, very, very surprisingly good. But it's also very surprisingly balanced. Can you drop out of the giveaway? I mean, we can remember that you defer. But yeah, y'all, the link is posted in the chat. Go ahead and just click on that, and that'll tell you all the different ways you can get in. If you're watching on Twitch, you are getting your drops points, of course, but you can also get points into this giveaway just by being here on Twitch and watching the stream. But anyways, sorry, back to the talk. So people think that Star Citizen has some kind of a linear development, and we've been chilling on like this really weird hybrid of a game for a long time. But if you go back to like around 2019, this is the very first time we could even see an inventory. This is not the inventory that we have. This is the inventory. This is a very, very rudimentary inventory that didn't really work well, but it was the first time we could actually see the things we were picking up like that, besides just going into your personal, your like customization screen and changing what was on your body. 1 quarter before that, mid 2019, it was the first time we could actually buy ships in game. Now you couldn't find a ship and keep it for yourself. You couldn't unlock a ship through some mission giver or Wicklow. You only had access to the things that you purchased. It was all real money, and that made the game feel incredibly like it was just buy to play. Whatever ship you wanted to buy, or whatever thing you wanted to do in game, you either had to buy that ship in real life with real cash, or you had to know somebody else who had it. So even in 2019, we couldn't buy or rent ships. We were just getting that ability. And then in 2020, we got Baby Persistence. Now I don't think that's actually on here, but it was part of the update. And this was the first time that not only were you able to buy ships in game, but if you bought a ship in game, it would actually last more than a few weeks. And that made people a whole bunch more interested in playing the game. So you can see how that's reflected here in the 2020 funding. After that, they just kept capitalizing really on the fact that a better game means more people. And I'm not saying that the game got really good in 2021, but after the Baby Persistence, it started to get a little more realistic. We were looking at... Ow! Oh. Oh my god, sorry. Ow! Fuck. Oh, sorry guys. It's like a really tender part of my jaw right here. Jesus. I think my beard is... No, I think my beard is betraying me. That hurt. I'm sorry. Where were we? Well, yeah. So they were making the game better in 21, 22. Like, you can follow the progress. I won't walk us through it. It's exhausting, but like you can see where things actually started to pick up. In 3.15, we were getting our first real local inventories. We were getting an actual medical system. Backpacks became a thing. Loot got dropped into the game so you could actually go and find things. Like, it's crazy how basic the game was before 21. Before 19, really. Just up until this period of time, you can tell very, very clearly that the game took a step up around this time and started to focus on the things that people cared about. Actually being able to get ships, progressing in the game, maintaining your stuff, having an inventory to look at your stuff, even just like missions to run and things to find when you run those missions, all came around this time. Now, continuing, you start to get into kind of the thick of it with 3.18 and the lead up to that. The cargo system refactor was a big one. Server meshing, obviously, persistent entity streaming. All of these things were topics of conversation. They were points of interest. They were the focus of development at this time. And so there was a mixture of people enjoying the game, but also really seeing that things were about to start happening. So again, a good, successful year. A lot of people flooding in and just enjoying what they're seeing. And also, like I said, many streamers and YouTubers were getting involved around that time. 2023 comes in, and server meshing is like really getting close, it feels like. So again, people are excited. There's a lot of anticipation. We're waiting. The cargo refactor is ongoing. Tractor beams are getting updates. Things, once again, that people care about that changes the gameplay were being worked. So all that hype and all that progress made 2023 the best year ever at that time. And then 2024, you guys know that well. Once again, a year of waiting for server meshing. But ultimately a fairly painful year, not gonna lie. And I think 2024 just did good because once again, there was a lot of hopes and focus on the idea that something big was happening that year. It was the first time we saw fauna. It was like engineering got into the arena commander mode for testing. We got this whole 323 with the Squadron 42 stuff that was supposed to be coming in. But honestly, CIG made everybody think that 2024 was going to be a bigger year than it was. And I think 26 feels more like what 24 was supposed to be, which is a shame because most of these things came in and weren't as polished as they'd hoped. But again, it was good progress because it was the stuff that people cared about actually getting changes, as opposed to back here when, yeah, some people cared about this stuff. I know I certainly did, but like literally vehicle look ahead camera. Like these are the additions that were coming in. A single mission would get a whole card on the roadmap. Being able to punch people. These aren't things that were really changing the game that much for people. You did get planetary weather effects and stuff like that, but gameplay wise, that really didn't start to come about until up here. Now that, I believe, explains 2025. It's kind of like the whole people are going to constantly think that they're just roping the same people in to get more money, but people genuinely are drawn to something that looks more like a game. Look at any game that comes out of early access. It gets a bump. Maybe it doesn't hold on to it, but it gets a bump. If you come down here and you see what they were saying at the beginning of the year, they understand it. They said, and this is what kind of drove the whole year for people, as we jump into the new year, our primary focus across Star Citizen teams is clear: improving playability. Our drive for playability surrounds three critical areas: performance, stability, and content. The sentiment many of you have shared, and one we wholeheartedly agree with, is that with the current game as it stands today, if it ran smoothly with fewer obstacles and bugs, it would provide an unparalleled experience. Over the years, we have experimented with different approaches to improve quality of life and tackling tech debt. However, the ongoing challenge has been balancing these efforts alongside the introduction of new features and technology. This is also that statement also conspicuously falls in line with the statement they made about in 2023 about Squadron 42. See if I can find it real quick. Priorities. What? Is this the wrong year? 2023 financials. No, this should be right. Hitherto. There we go. Yes, this is the statement here. So if his statement says something along the lines of, over the years, we have experimented with different approaches to improve quality of life and tackling tech debt. However, the ongoing challenges have been balancing these efforts alongside the introduction of new features and technology. Now, put that into context with this statement. At the start of 2023, we needed to dedicate and ring-fence more resources for Squadron 42 game in order to get the game to feature complete by the end of the year. Again, a significant step on its roadmap to full release. Hitherto, it was all too easy to divert resources earmarked for Squadron onto Star Citizen to tackle live issues raised by our community and customers stemming from our latest releases. So, not only was Star Citizen proving a problem, an issue for them to try and stay on top of things and get all the stuff into the game reliably, but Squadron 42 was apparently also being hurt by this idea of loading features into Star Citizen and just hoping that they'll work and maintain a game. This year they changed that. They focused on performance, stability, and content, and while content has definitely taken the focus there, performance and stability have gone up. They've been iffy, it's been up and down, but they have gone up, and I think that has led to a lot of people not just trying this game out. Like, many people I think are willing to try it out because they're seeing different things from it. I think a lot of people also playing it longer. How many people in chat have historically tried the game occasionally, but find yourself playing for longer sessions this year than before? I think some people don't want to admit it, but it's hard to not say that, in my opinion, because now there are actually things to be interested in. It's still light in my opinion, but there's, like, you can actually go and try a few different things, and there are actual storylines, there are characters that'll talk to you, there are multiple star systems that you can visit that might not feel incredibly different, but do add a little bit of diversity to the game. All of this, I think, is just stacking up to people being more willing to believe that this game is going somewhere. People open their wallets when they feel like they're on the winning team. And for a long time, Star Citizen, it's been kind of winning because they kept funding going, but they didn't feel like they were on the winning team, especially the last few years. Server meshing was great, PES has been great, cargo refactor is good, salvage coming in is great. Those things are good, but those felt like things in spite of a kind of stalling development. And it's funny to say that because this year, development slowed down a bit, but we see the EPTU being used now. We see new features being tested on, and it does feel like we're only going to see a stronger effect of what we've already seen this year in 2026. Genuine Raptor and Po Boy, thank you both for subbing on Twitch. Starting that hype train, I appreciate you. Morning, Mr. and Mrs. Tomato, what's the secret code? Secret code is... Drop me, Toman. I can see you guys. I just haven't been looking at chat. The green line isn't going to grow in December as much as last year because last year was the Polaris release. Maybe they've got a little surprise for us. Why is YouTube chat not showing up on the chat log? We had to switch to a new host for the stream. And I haven't been able to get a new embed. So I can see your chat still. It just doesn't show up on the embedded chat for some reason. The performance and stability mindset should have been implemented years ago. I don't think it could have been. Think about the things they implemented over the last couple of years. The biggest one being server meshing, but also PES. I don't think they could have really optimized before those things, because even if they had said tested those in parallel the whole time until even if they had tested those in parallel, they still would have then merged them and probably caused all the same problems, because it's just like they have to rewrite a bunch of stuff. It's changing the back end. I think that they wanted to wait until server meshing was in before they started to really focus on performance and stability. They didn't even have the overhead to do it that much. Yeah, there's not a plugin to... Well, there is a plugin. That's what I'm saying. I have a plugin that displays both chats. It's just that that service was terrible at getting our stream to you guys without dropping the connection constantly. You want to bully Twitch people? I'll tell them. I'll tell them what you're saying. We'll let them know. It's surreal playing one session now for almost 15 hours. Yeah. Going multiple hours without crashing is pretty crazy. How can they know your question about where the Orison poop goes? It goes on the whole sea. This is the first time you've not spent money on Star Citizen, been disappointed on stability and performance, also spend less time on SC and more on other games that are stable and fun without the crashes. Hey man, that's a good call. If you don't like the stability of what it is right now, I think it's a better idea to drop Star Citizen and go play other things until it gets to a point where you are happy with it. I think a lot of people have done that, and this year was the time when it finally was getting back to a place where they felt like they could play. So I wholeheartedly agree. Wolf, I would suggest a break, and it sounds like it's going well for you. So, with our approaching 900 million in funding, which is kind of the whole point I wanted to have this talk, and I've dragged it on way too long, I just want to do a quick search now and see what happens when you Google search for Star Citizen. What kind of news is coming out about it? Star Citizen brought in over 2.86 million day one of big annual ship sale and joyride event. Biggest budget, most notorious space game around, is holding a huge free trial with over 200 ships you can try. This game has cost almost $1 billion to make, and it's not GTA 6. Star Citizen opens the Nix system with Alpha 4.4 launches annual Intergalactic Aerospace Expo event. Honestly, the headlines, the only headline that seems loaded is this one. Star Citizen nearing 900 million raised with a full release nowhere in sight. They're also confusing people because some people will be like, they've raised 1 billion, and then some people will be like, they've raised 900 million, and they're all quoting sort of slightly different ways of calculating the number raised. Let's read what XDA has to post. I used to read XDA for my phone stuff. Interesting that they're making articles about games now. Everyone on the planet and their dog knows about GTA 6 and how the world's massive budget doesn't even begin to describe the game. It's saying to be the most expensive game ever, or is it? Enter Star Citizen, a game that has been quietly and not so quietly been in development for more than a year, more than a decade, racking up almost $1 billion in development. It's a ludicrous number, isn't it? Star Citizen is the never-ending space sim that somehow exists in a surreal space between the most ambitious game ever imagined and the internet's longest-running joke. Now with its funding I thought that was still Beyond Good and Evil 2. Dude, I fully agree that Star Citizen has been around for a long time and it gets a little exhausting to hear about, but come on. Beyond Good and Evil 2 was announced in like 2008 and still gets regular trailers at massive game conventions. Okay, not regular. I think the last trailer was like 5-6 years ago. Star Citizen began in 2012 under the vision of Chris Roberts, the Wing Commander guy. His pitch even today is something that you'd find genuinely irresistible. The ultimate sci-fi simulation set in space, where you play in a living, breathing galaxy, seamlessly fly a ship, explore planets, walk into stations, take missions, pirate cargo, roleplay as a bartender, whatever. I mean, most of that's here. Fly a ship, explore planets, walk into stations, take missions, pirate cargo, roleplay as a bartender is probably where you're missing out, but I've seen people roleplay as bartenders on the 890 jump. It dreams of having no loading screens and, more importantly, no cut corners, becoming a true second digital life in the stars. Consequently, the game's backers believed the dream, and they believed it rather hard. Millions of dollars were poured into the game. The 100 million passed, 500 was passed. Now the exact figures keep varying from source to source, but by and large, we know that the game has crossed the 900 million milestone, making it more expensive to develop than Battlefield 6 and 2077 Cyberpunk combined. While Cloud Imperium developed Star Citizen, they're also making Squadron 42, a single-player, campaign-driven, big-budget narrative game coming out next year. Think GTA Online to GTA 5. This is pretty straightforward so far. One's resources are feeding the other. Like, they get it. They're hearing how it works. We've got big-shot Hollywood actors like Gary Oldman, Henry Cavill, and Andy Serkis, the Avengers of sci-fi media. And the recent gameplay showcase was nothing short of truly promising. We've got a grand scale, fantastic visuals, and a story that can't wait to experience with all my attention. In fact, Squadron 42 is a component of the original Kickstarter project from Cloud Imperium Games, and it almost feels surreal that part of the game is now coming alive in true form come 2026. He's not even mocking this. He's being less mocking of the 2026 figure than I am. I have no problems with this article. I think this is pretty good so far. It's supposed to be a spiritual successor to Wing Commander, and now we're almost to the finish line. Look, it's not as if Star Citizen, the always online multiplayer game, isn't playable. It's been playable since 2017 and in early access. They're building the technology and the blueprint that other space sims may eventually copy. Full ship interiors, planet-scale worlds, player-driven economy, seamless transitions between space and ground without boundaries. Think No Man's Sky, but handcrafted and grounded in military-grade sci-fi physics. Yeah? Now we get to the reputation. There's nothing quite like the online community for Star Citizen. The faithful call it the future of gaming, and they believe their words with utter conviction. Then come the skeptical, who call it a scam. The truth, however, lies somewhere right in the messy middle. On the one hand, the game is playable, and it has been for a while. It's constantly updated, and visually it is breathtaking, providing your device can handle it. On the other hand, though, the game has become synonymous with delays and feature creep. Not wrong. It's also almost become a punchline at this point. Also not wrong, but not for the right reasons, I think. Core systems are still unstable in the online game, and then there are the spaceships. One of the biggest sources of money for the game are digital concept spaceships that Cloud Imperium sells to buying customers. These are ships that don't exist in game yet, but will eventually. The catch, they can cost as much as 48,000. See, okay. It's like as soon as you get into the money talk, it gets a little bit wrong. See, this is where you get misconceptions. It's a super simple mistake like this. When you say one of the biggest sources is selling digital concept spaceships, and then you say that these ships don't exist in game, people are going to read that and think that the only ships they're selling are concepts and that they don't exist in game. And then you say that they can cost as much as 48,000, and so people are like, oh, these ships can be as much as, like, and that's not true. 48,000 buys you every ship. So I think that's this literally, if they did not have these two sentences in here, at least so far, then the article is pretty spot on. They continue by saying, and that's the problem, Star Citizen has raised so much of its money, but not by selling the finished dream, but rather by selling parts and pieces of the dream as it's being built. That's true. It's deeply controversial, even if I might be inclined to begrudgingly call it bold and creative. The roadmap is an absolute mess and a roller coaster that has overstayed its welcome while the operator refused to let you off or slow down. Yeah. And yeah, I mean, it's not a CIG idea to make the whole package with all the ships in it. People just didn't want to have every ship on there as a line item in their hangar, so they could just trade everything in and buy the one big thing with all the stuff. But you can't explain that every time somebody reads $48,000 for a ship and makes its way into the article. He says, I'm not going to pretend that GTA 6 and Star Citizen could ever be compared one-to-one. Both games are two of the biggest budget titles ever, and they've both become cultural well before launch. Rockstar's upcoming title has almost 3 decades of legacy behind it, and it's driven the whole "we got this before GTA 6" meme all over the internet. Then there are the Scam Citizen allegations and taunts that run amok all over Reddit. Are they both overambitious? I think so, certainly. But still, GTA 6 will ship on a disc on a fixed day full game. Star Citizen, on the other hand, doesn't feel like it believes in finished. I like to think of GTA 6 as a skyscraper, even a city block, if you will. Star Citizen? That's more of a cathedral, constructed over generations by believers who may never even remain to see it reach completion, if and when it ever does. You know what? I'll take that. It's kind of a Sagrada Familia situation, where like, It is very much being enjoyed in the moment while it's being built. People are visiting it, people are trying it out. It's being funded by those same people, but it is not finished. And a lot of folks have been reserved to basically being like, well, it's the building of this thing. That's what I'm enjoying. That being said, it's definitely noted that Rockstar's upcoming title has almost 3 decades of legacy behind it. It's not just legacy, like that's development. As much as we bag on Star Engine for taking so long to develop from CryEngine, the game engine that's running GTA 6 has been being used to develop GTA games for like 20 something years. They know what they're doing. They have the documentation. And even when they need to make something new inside of that engine, they understand better how to do that and how it works. CIG got lucky because they got to buy up a lot of the original devs behind the CryEngine, but it's not quite the same. He finishes off by saying, honestly, it seems like the closer Star Citizen gets to 1 billion, the less anyone seems concerned about the finish line. The players keep backing it, the game keeps growing, the devs keep expanding it because the management keeps deciding to move goalposts and the hype keeps rolling, ebbing in and out, depending on what piece of news escapes from Cloud Imperium offices. I certainly would like to see this dream complete and to see Star Citizen as a fully made, completed project that proves to be everything it's promising. A testament to the fact that games can be bigger, wider, deeper, and freer. Will it though? The jury's going to be out for a long, long time. Until then, I'll remain the way I always have when it comes to this IP, equal parts curious and concerned. Folks, this is not a bad article. I think that people are a little too knee-jerky to the headlines, which is the whole point of the headline. It's to get emotions and get people to click. But I did this a few years ago. I made a video for supporters talking about how basically the conversation around gaming has gotten too crazy. It's knee-jerk, it's hyperbolic, it's too much. And these kinds of articles are perfect examples of it, because you can just go onto any of these websites or places. Hold on. Let me do a quick search here for this same article, Star Citizen $1 billion. Let's see if this pops up. Is this it? No. Oh boy. This is gonna be, let's see, from the past week. Yeah, it is the same. It's on the Star Citizen subreddit. The annual $1 billion game decade on alpha article is here. See, this doesn't help. I don't think this helps. I think it would be better to post this article to the Star Citizen subreddit. And yeah, okay. See, first comment is recognizing the reality. Said, this doesn't seem like a hit piece. This is fairly balanced, cautiously optimistic take. I think a lot of backers would agree with. Ultimately, though, it might end up becoming a landmark moment in gaming history, but equally likely is the possibility of it becoming a dictionary example of overambition and overexpansion. I'm glad that this is the first comment, because it's not like, this is not the time, I think, for Star Citizen people to be like, look at how they're looking at us. They don't get it. They're crazy. It's that time again. I think it's better to acknowledge the articles and pick up on the things that they say that are true and that exist, and try and get those into these conversations. I'm a little worried for our health as to which thread I actually click into on this. Oh. No. So this is an article pointing at the Gamer. Honestly, I read the Gamer. I think it's a pretty good production. Let's see. After cruising past 800 million, Insider Gamer reminded us it's probably about time we checked in on how full Star Citizen's piggy bank has been. Turns out it's at 900 million. Crazy, when people were saying that the project was going to die a year ago. While the numbers are a little shaky, as studios don't tend to shout from the rooftops, This makes Star Citizen one of the most expensive games ever made. Based on the little information we had, it's currently third behind Monopoly Go and Genshin Impact, both of which have spent more due to the massive amounts of money needed for their never-ending marketing campaigns. I wonder how that goes down. It's nice that these game companies spend more money than ours, but they're spending it on marketing instead of development. I guess ours goes towards marketing too, in a way. Let's see, they make other comparisons. So this article is talking a lot about the money. We're almost all the way. Even though Star Citizen isn't finished, doesn't have a release window, Cloud Imperium still plans on launching a standalone single-player spin-off in 26. That'll be something, but I'm sure there are so many people anticipating that launch. Sure, there are as many people anticipating that launch as there are Star Citizen fans who just wish the team would focus on finishing the actual game. They just added a new star system. We got the first aliens in the game ever. We're getting engineering, finally. The Vulkan renderer is being tested. Server meshing just started. What the actual does it mean to finish the real game? People keep saying this as if they're not adding things that are literally running the game. I don't get that, man. I get saying that not enough is happening. I don't get saying that the team isn't focusing on it. They won't shut the up about some of these things, dude. I'm sure most people, I think, are really tired of hearing about how much they've been building engineering and just want to play it themselves. Fate. Aki, thank you so much for the sub on Twitch. I appreciate you. He said there's potentially a light at the end of the tunnel. While it is far from a like-for-like comparison, Escape from Tarkov launched on Steam last week, a game that has been in its testing phase for a whole year longer than Star Citizen. It hasn't had the greatest start to 1.0 life, pulling in half the players count that it's a duck-based spin-off. I mean, this just goes to show that, like, talking about the time a game has been in development it's not like the end-all be-all. To be fair, Genshin Impact pulls in 0.4 billion in a year, 1.8 billion, 1.9 billion. Jeez, so the marketing does work, huh? But yeah, this article is not as well made, I think, as the last one, which was informative. This, I think, is more the article people are talking about. It's basically just a focus on money, which, cool, great. I can explain that to you in a couple sentences. They've spent too much money for what they've done. This is because it's been freaking hard. They've made wrong decisions, they've bloated their features, and they've promised too much and spread themselves too thin. Can we move past that and talk about the... whatever. Anyways, that's the point of the article, right? So this one got posted this got posted to the Asmongold subreddit, so I don't know if the conversation is going to be any better there. This person said, spent $45 to play this game 2 years ago, and it's alright, playing the hunting and bounty hunting quest for 1 to 2 hours and got bored, but did mining and selling ores for maybe 2 weeks, and it was really fun. Oh, there you go. It's much more fun if you get a flight sim setup. It's hard to control with mouse and keyboard. Doesn't feel like that crazy number it used to be when the game's development costs seem to be skyrocketing these days. I'm glad they changed the development direction, though. It seems to be working out really well. Games development costs seem to be skyrocketing. I've backed since March 2017 and like to say that Star Citizen is my favorite game available. There are thousands of words I could use to describe it, both good and bad. And they dropped their referral code. I think the smear campaign, this person says, against this game has worked. To play right now, it costs $45 and it's more flushed out than a lot of $70 games. It has several game loops, lots to explore, and everything is earnable in game for the most part. Had a blast. And pop in several times a year to see what's new. This person responded, the blatant information people are spreading is insane. No one calls them out for it, or worse, no one cares if the information is correct or not. People believe what they want to believe and follow the masses like ignorant sheep. So plenty of people in this subreddit, at least, who are like, hey, this is actually kind of fun. This person been a backer for 5 years, got a decent amount invested. There's something to be said about it getting more widespread. We were just going over the funding of the game in this, and like the new citizens here. Think about when this game was getting lambasted back in like 2019 for being a problem, for taking too long, for doing these things. And like the actual size of the community at that time was less than half the size it is now. So it's not even just the fact that the game is getting better, but there are also more people getting exposed to it that can be found in places like this that can talk about it. If every single person who comes into a subreddit to listen to you talk about a game that seems like it's not doing well, then you're not going to have anybody to push back against that. All the beliefs are going to be the same after that conversation. Sorry, I know I'm getting really deep into this, but I think this is one of the most interesting parts of Star Citizen is watching how this, how the understanding of it is going to be changing. It's literally, can I look for stuff not in Star Citizen subreddit? Three SU iron, 3 comp boards, and 2 hearts of wood for a space AK. Asman actually likes SC. He understands the undertaking involved. Oh, I know he does. What I've learned is that Asman kind of reflects his fans, but for a large part, it seems like Asmongold's fans the conversations can get pretty wild. Yeah, Vastin, it makes an echo chamber. It doesn't look like there's too much other conversation about these articles coming out just yet. It's going to be a little bit. It'll probably be like this week that they come out, since we're going to hit 900 million probably today. But that's just a little look at the why we're here and what people are saying about it and all that jazz. Seen me on YouTube. Forget that Twitch exists. Also, we go live on YouTube. If you want, you can check out this live stream on the YouTube channel, unless you just like going to Twitch for streams. What will the final game be? I don't even fully understand what the end results will be. And with new technology coming out in the advent of AI gen tools, I don't get what CIG end goal is. The end goal is an MMO with quests that you can run, storylines that you can follow, items that you can trade and craft, bases that you can build, places you can go, factions you can gain reputation with to get better rewards or not as good rewards. Does that help, or is it more confusing? Like, did you mean something else? Anyone else on YouTube stuck at 480p? 480p? Why am I so pixelated? Toes. Brotocon, you backed the original campaign, played through the hangar and arena commander, but then thought this is never happening for years. You came back in 24 and you've done a 180. Dude, I'm glad it ended up feeling better for you. Glad it came around. The Duck, thank you for the sub, mate. Thanks for following and for being here. We still have a giveaway running. Anybody who wants to get a chance to win the Drake Clipper with a copy of Star Citizen, it's up for grabs. People literally have no idea what a final game is these days. There's no formal definition. Hundreds of games have DLC, expansions, updates, etc. well into production. That's fair. I mean, it'll be keep getting built for some time. When you put it like that, it seems so simple. Why can't they just implement it? They seem okay with implementing broken things. The idea is basically you implement broken things that can... It's a good way to put it. You know how, I don't know if that's actually a great way to put it. I don't want to draw a comparison of seriousness or actual complexity in this comparison, more so just an idea of how things happen. The attempts to go to space, to go to the moon, to go to Mars, I guess literally you could say like a moonshot idea never happens through a plan, right? You don't make a plan and say, okay, we're going to go to the moon with a spaceship and then set going to the moon with a spaceship as your goal. You have to come up with tons of milestones. You have to reach certain materials science roadblocks and pass them. You have to figure out how to cool certain things because you had to upstage your rockets and the cooling doesn't work now. So you go back to the drawing board and figure that out. Like, it's a process of a lot of broken things that are meant to work together in very unique environments to prove that the concept will work, so that you can then come in and finish it off with something proper and real. You know, whatever that future spaceship is that has been made for commercial transport, it has all the safety configurations, it has all of the things that you could pick up for if something goes wrong. It's painted well, it's got all its polishes and everything like that. That's the same kind of thing. They're not necessarily building Star Citizen, at least before this year. They weren't building it so it worked. They were building it so that they could just keep building it. Their whole goal up until around here was just to make sure that the PU could run well enough for players to play it and to keep those players excited about it. Traditionally speaking, they would not have even talked about this game until probably the last couple of years. You know, if they were a company like EA or Ubisoft or somebody like that. I don't know, CDPR announced Cyberpunk in 2013, but you get what I mean. They definitely jumped the gun in communication because they won't get money any other way. So putting together a game that feels simple isn't as simple because they have a whole bunch of problems in front of them and they have to figure out how to fund their way past those problems. There isn't a 1.0 feature list you know of? I mean, they did the whole video. I would look at their 1.0 video. I think that lays out just about everything. It misses stuff when it comes to Death of a Spaceman and a couple other more unique parts of the game. But in terms of like what they want you to be doing in terms of a game loop, where they want you to go, all that kind of stuff, I think their 1.0 presentation does a decent job. Need to start implementing an in-game achievement system. It'd be a wildly simple method for CIG to add some form of achievement. Achievement unlocked. The mistake they always make is that they make it too easy to call them out on stupid stuff. Yeah, they do. They really do. Latest example, ships will not be implemented without their gameplay. Here's a clipper, it has a crafting bench, but we have no crafting yet. But you can't run your Zeus MR because the gameplay's not there yet. That's a lot of colors. What were we doing? We were looking at the funding and just kind of how their progress is going. Oh yeah. They've got their list of 1.0 features right here. Starware, instance tag, star sim, server meshing, global illumination, base building, The new Planet Tech Dynamic. Yeah, all their 1.0 stuff's here. I don't think most people care. You're still salty about the Zeus MR not being available when we have other ships doing similar stuff and still being usable. If I were them, I probably wouldn't have released it either. Clearly the idea for bounty hunting is in flux and they are trying to figure it out in terms of design right now. And I'm betting the prospect of releasing the Zeus MR and possibly needing to come back to it really quickly because something changes in the late stage of bounty hunting is a thing. Like maybe they're willing to change the Avenger and the Cutlass Blue and any other ships meant for bounty hunting, but the last one maybe they don't want to cause that kind of problem. But it's not really a defense I'm willing to even stand on the hill to die on. So believe of that what you will. You think they just share too much? Most game studios keep quiet about their long-term plans for a reason, because they change all the time. Yeah, but if they haven't shared, they would have never funded this game. And I'm willing to say that they shared too much on purpose to fund the game. I don't think anybody should go back and look at the things that CIG has said at some of these citizen cons and not attribute it to just wanting to get funding. I can't see it any other way, man. The 2016 CitizenCon presentation, I can't. I'm sorry, but I look at that and I'm like, I can't make an excuse for why you would make this presentation at this state with the game. You're salty for the Starfarer being a refueler with a refueling mechanic that works sometimes, but not reliably, and not as needed because of free insurance claims. Dude, when they released refueling, they told us that we had to ask in global chat. Anybody who's used global chat knows that's a non-starter. You can suggest it as a, hey, at least it's there, but it feels a little insulting even to suggest that. The Duck, thank you for the sub, the Prime sub on Twitch. I appreciate you. I hope you're having a good day. What bothers you about Star Citizen is not the money spent or the meandering roadmap. Not even the lack of clear goals. This alpha has given you some of the best experiences in your gaming life. Having played for years, it never stops amazing you. What does bother you, though, is what seems to be the whole industry of people poo-pooing the project because CIG is doing different and funding it in a non-conventional way. I also find that annoying, and I'll say I think the one thing that I'm really hoping that happens with Star Citizen, if it does end up being a success, is that it just changes the way people think about how a game needs to be made. They don't all need to be made by this, but at least we can consider it doesn't always have to be a traditional method. Seeing more than 40 people in-game at once has had a positive effect on immersion. You get to do a big event lately, Noise? Beetle, you enjoy what CIG is doing, and the open development model is a really cool take on game development. Agreed. What do I think about the helmet interiors finally rendering again? Are they? When they physicalize the helmets, do they have the big helmets obstructing views again? Warlock, really? Oh my gosh, dude, that's huge. That's so good to hear. Man, I didn't know if they were going to bring that back. I thought they had just gotten rid of the helmets like that. There is a need for refueling. I remember when they were insinuating that pyro would be the need for refueling because it was so big. A nice comparison to CCP talking about modular space stations and walking in space stations. And even the Tessellation Tech demo during an EVE event caused them to clamp down on chat and news outlets after they couldn't deliver. I didn't hear anything about that. It'll come in 4.5 as far as I know. But is it confirmed that... So I didn't notice, I was in the tech preview, but I didn't notice if the helmet was blocking my view. Is it confirmed that that is true? It is blocking views? I think that's so cool, dude. I think that is 100% part of any FPS game I want to play. Is having my helmet be a physical part of the game around me. What helmet I choose affects what I see. Imagine if you pick a helmet that's like really advanced and it has this amazing scanning features and all this stuff that helps you in the game. But if somebody EMPs you successfully, because there's no glass on the front of the helmet, it's just a digital readout, you suddenly are blinded. Well, people would hate that. Maybe that's going a little bit too far, but the idea of that your helmet makes that big of a difference. Yeah, it doesn't have to be complete blindness. It could just be a glitchy screen or something. Yeah, the solar flares will come back to pyro. In fact, I'm pretty sure those are in here. There we go. It's listed. That's a stupid design. Not everybody will agree. Pyro got reduced in size, but refueling looks like it might be more important in Nyx. But every time someone requests for refueling, when I'm in universe, you see everyone talking about how they got rid of their Starfarer. I mean, the Starfarer is an incredibly confusing ship on the interior. It's a big hulking ship with very small use case, and the use case it has is pretty gimped. It's in general, it's not a good space. That would force you to carry a practical helmet as backup when the advanced HUD fails. Maybe a glitched view would be worth it. Or maybe it's just not like a long effect, just a few seconds. Ships get sold before they're flight ready all the time. It's very common in SC. I don't see why CIG could have held back the Zeus MR. I think most ships, if they don't have, I think most ships, if they have their primary gameplay, get shipped. The one category where I feel like that falls short was the 400i, the Origin 400i. Didn't seem necessary. Solar Flare is going to come back with engineering and the return of distortion, being able to fix a distorted system and repair a ship if necessary. Yeah. Your basement flooded this morning? Oh. Oh, dude, I'm sorry. Is it bad? Is there anywhere for the water to get out, or is it just sitting in there? Once players can sit down, send out specific requests. You're looking for this. Service beacons are meant to be something that you can put out and ask for help with. Refueling, repairing, rearming, delivery, medical. The idea is that you can request these services through a system that is not global chat, so that these messages only get sent to people who are actually signed up to be able to receive them and are equipped for them. But also so that reputation can have some effect on it. We keep talking about reputation, and I'm quite tired of it, but that is supposed to be the sort of backbone of how this works, where instead of just global chatting, asking for some sorry. Instead of just asking for fueling through global chat where everyone can see, you send it to a specific group of people who are actually meant for that. Check on the progress tracker under Windows and Items, Weapons and Items in 4.5. Did I just look on here? Physical helmets in the persistent universe. Pick one up, rotate it, inspect every detail, carry it around, attach it to your hip, or toss it across a room if you want. When you equip a helmet, you put on or remove the same one you held in your hands, complete with a fully realized interior. Does it say more than that on the progress tracker? Oh, you're talking about the roadmap, I see. I think a lot of the old heads are tired of talking endlessly about the same subject over and over. Lots of good progress, but things like the flight model, social features, UI, etc. are old sores. They are, and they persist. We can talk subsumption rather than rep. That's how you know Swagasaurus has been around for a while. Not exactly looking for pity, but appreciate the kind words. Just sucks that it happened during IAE. That clipper looks too neat. That is a huge bummer. It happened during IAE. Heavy rains where you are right now? Did they redo the flight model? No, they didn't redo it, but they talked about it getting a little bit of a change. Not really a redo. It's mostly gonna work the same way it is. They're just taking out. They're basically just, you know what? I keep referencing the fact that there's a video about this, but I think it's better if I just find that video. Let's see if it pops up. And it pops up.
The biggest influence in a combat situation is what the players do.
You can do a lot of small decisions and they all matter.
So this is May of 2021, and I honestly, you can ask me, I don't know why they didn't go with this method for what they were trying to do in the first place, but here it is.
These capacitors were looking to give players that extra option to make the situation more dynamic, and the more dynamic that situation is, we're hoping the more dynamic the combat is.
Okay, sorry. So this first part, they're talking about capacitors. You guys remember this?
These effects are drastic. These are really
Like
drastic. You cannot swap charges.
Early engineering
for
attempt.
Example, guns to shields or something like that. That doesn't work. But you can tell each subsystem which should be preferred for regenerating. So instead of taping down your fire button, if you use energy weapons, you are now forced to pick when you're actually going to fire them, right? And these weapons, they will run out very, very fast.
And the players that can think ahead and manage that situation, we think they'll have the advantage in combat.
You need to strategically employ the limited resources you have.
So it isn't just about the flight of the ship, or it isn't just about one particular angle on the ship. It's about all these different things that come together to give a particular style of combat, which we want to be a positional combat situation.
And
Hey, Mrs. Tomato, are you watching? I don't know if you're watching. This is Richard Towler. Just in case you
The ship, or it isn't just about one particular angle on the ship. It's about all these different things that come together to give a particular style of combat, which we want to be a positional combat situation.
And I'm very convinced that this is the interesting part where dogfighting will get really exciting again. In terms of where we are exactly.
So this is a while ago. This is all outdated information. They're talking about capacitors here, which are really like a precursor to engineering, but the idea was making sure that there is more variability in the power you were using and where you were putting it. This is the part that I was actually concerned with,
because it can open up
giving you guys a look into.
Gives a lot of freedom to allow people to cooperate in different ways.
Listen really closely to how they describe this, because it's going to sound kind of like master modes.
It basically allows us to split out a feature. So when you're in that seat, you get all the information that is on a particular task. And that's basically, what an operating mode is.
So operating modes that exist in the game right now are quantum drive, scanning is an operating mode.
And we've also got mining.
You guys hear that? Like, I think a few people have told me now that operator modes are a new thing. This is 2021. I just want to be clear. And the idea here is operator modes are meant to be different modes you can switch into to target a certain feature on your ship or vehicle.
As well.
Looking forwards, certainly multi-crew is not quite where we want to be at the moment. And so we decided to manipulate operator modes a little bit and allow different people in different seats to be in different operator modes. So the co-pilot could be in, for example, scanning mode, while the pilot is in flight mode. This would allow the co-pilot to have control of all the scanning stuff, while the pilot doesn't have to worry about that, doesn't have control of those items, and can instead just worry about flight. So that's quite an exciting change for multi-crew going forward especially. So the operator mode we're working on at the moment is missile operator mode, which is the first new one that we're looking at.
The goal behind missile operator mode is to give players quick access to the missiles in combat, because there's a particular range and a particular time when missiles are the right tools to use in a situation in combat. And it was taking a lot of what we learned with the previous method with missiles to communicate that.
For those who weren't here during this time, before, you didn't have to switch modes to fire missiles. You just fired missiles at the same time you fired guns. Similarly, you didn't have to switch to quantum travel if you wanted to quantum travel. You would just kind of activate your quantum drive and go. This whole idea of needing to switch modes to do different things in the game happened like 3 or 4 years ago. And the idea that they are killing master modes in order to move that functionality into this same thing, the same thing that defines literally quantum travel. He said it. There is already an operator mode for quantum travel. So I don't know how else to translate that, but like the flight model is changing because quantum master modes, are getting removed, and they're just going to rely on the same quantum operator mode that they literally defined here in 2021.
The way that missile operator mode works right now is in a single pilot ship, you have the option to switch between your guns and then into missile operator mode and back out again.
Mrs. Tomato, this is Richard Towler.
But if you've got a multi-crew ship and you're in a pilot seat and you've got a co-pilot, you can use the guns and your co-pilot can have complete control over the missile system at the same time.
You can pre-select how many missiles you want to fire, lock them all on, and then fire them all in a volley. That's quite fun to watch. Big anime blast of missiles as they fire off into the distance.
We're hopeful that we've given the players enough information that when they lock a target in missile operator mode, they understand that they've locked it, but then they also understand the next stages, which is how much of a lock do you have, and what are your chances of hitting your target at that particular time. And being in missile operator mode gives you all that information. So along with missile operator mode, we've also done a complete rework of the missiles, which now fly under an IFCS2 system, so they're very, very similar to the ships.
So for example, one of the big changes is missiles now have fuel. So as they maneuver more, as they accelerate, they will consume more fuel, which allows you to outrun them and outmaneuver them.
And they're going to have a very limited opportunity to come back at you if you manage to evade a missile.
We've also split up the missile's flight into 3 different phases. So the first phase is boost phase, where the missile is attempting to just pick up speed and get to top speed as fast as it can. Once the boost phase has expired, it goes into intercept phase, where the missile is trying to generally track towards the target, attempting to intercept it. And then when it gets even closer, it switches to full tracking, what we call terminal phase, where it puts all of its effort into trying to hit the target, because it's now pretty close. As far as where we're at right now, we're confident about it. We didn't rush it out last quarter. There were a few quality of life things that we wanted to make sure we had before we released.
We're a fairly small team, but I'm very proud of the efforts that we've done so far, and also our interaction with the community as well, because we are a player-facing team, because we're an experienced team. A big part of this for us is players understanding that the game's always moving forwards. We're always trying to improve everything we've ever done, and it's not going to stop.
So what did we learn this week? Well, we learned that in addition...
Remember when ISC used to be like this? So yeah, that's I don't know if anybody even needed to hear that. I guess you guys might already be on the same page, but it's just been a regular conversation that like what they're doing with the flight model is essentially just stripping away master modes and going back to what there was before. And we'll see how it goes. They announced it last year at IAE, about a year ago to the week, but nothing on it since. Was master modes only a placeholder until the flight model and engineering and a few other systems were in game? That doesn't seem like how they were talking about it. They really seemed dedicated to master modes being the overall future. I did see that ISC. I didn't watch the whole thing. Toes! But I saw it pop up, yeah. Mrs. Tomato, Space Tomato, you guys have a wonderful Thanksgiving in Georgia, one of the most gorgeous states in the states. Fort Brenning's Army base was your home for some time. Thank you, my friend. Nice to see some family. Yeah, growing up far away from family is weird, but glad to get to see them during times like these. Oof. Oof. Sorry guys, little stomach pain there. So they removed the ease of use of missiles to repackage it as a separate function for an additional player. Kind of, yeah. They wanted to declutter UI, I think. So instead of having one UI that does everything in your ship. You have a UI for every different function, and you switch between those UIs. Flight model is such a large portion of the game, so it's important to get it right for the game they're trying to make. This is true. Yeah, I'm good, Jaybird, thank you. Nothing better than new players trying their hand at the game when every experience is fresh, new, and exciting. You're hyped to watch me fly with hover mode V2. I'm just happy to have something more systemic. Hover mode was such a slapdash solution. It's going to be really nice to see something that's more systemic and focused on each ship particularly, rather than just like a bar of standards set to everyone. Ooh, you had Taco Bell for breakfast. That sounds fun. Alright, I guess let's look at the wolves and stuff. So CIG has released the new wolf L22. Why don't we do a little look at this, and then we're also gonna, we have to look at all these ships actually, and then we'll hit up the Q&A and see what the we're gonna see what they have to say about the wolf, how it compares to the L21. It's called the Alpha Wolf. I'm not calling it that. It's the L22 Wolf. I'm sorry. It's not. So how Alpha Wolf. We'll go to the Q&A and see what makes the real difference, but let's listen to what they're saying in this video.
So how long have you known you were going to do another wolf?
So during internal development of the wolf, I think there was very divided opinions on the looks. Generally, we all thought it was cool, but we knew that the fin was going to be pretty divisive. Before we released, we'd already started plans for an alternative hull variant that kept the styling of the wolf, but did things in a different way. And that is the L22 Alpha Wolf.
Okay, yeah, it already looks better.
The L22 Alpha Wolf is a single-seat light fighter that has aggressive lines and heavy aero that allow the vehicle to be highly maneuverable and agile.
It takes that very retro-futuristic styling, trades out the ballistic weapons for energy weapons,
Whoa.
and then does a few other little subtle geometry tweaks.
It's very sleek, somewhat aggressive, kind of like a scalpel. Doesn't just get the job done, but also looks good doing it.
This ship is for an aggressive pilot that likes to get into the action and get out quickly.
So what makes it Alpha? It's not automatically better, right?
Releasing another variant, we didn't want to just swap the weapons out. We wanted to make some visual differences. The rear wings are completely changed. They've got a very different silhouette now. We have these long rear wings.
Oh yeah, it looks like it's mostly the wings there. Definitely some more stuff going on. Toes. Okay, the lower wings, upper wings. There's more going on in the fuselage back there. They get rid of these little loop pieces that come down. They basically just like remove the top half of these little looping bits. It makes the whole dynamic of the back look a lot more vertically interesting. I like that they changed this center section up here too. Sterling, thank you for the Prime sub on Twitch, man. I appreciate you.
Now, we have these long sweeping wings on the Wolf, whereas on the Alpha Wolf, there's some vertical side fins. Rather than being on the underside of the ship, they're now on the exterior, on the sides.
A direct nod to World War II aircraft with the kind of T-shaped rudders and elevators.
Look at that. Is that supposed to be the power plant, kinda?
In the back.
They give a little bit more kind of like straight line attitude to the ship, I think. One of the things that split the customer base for Kruger was the fin on the base Wolf. So what we've decided to do with the Alpha Wolf is the fin has been drastically reduced and giving a much more kind of streamlined look to it. There is
Oh my god, that's tiny, dude. Why didn't they just make it movable? Why didn't they just give us the option to put it in or out?
Still within there, it's very, very small, but I don't think I could let it out without one.
Okay.
You will see.
Well, I mean, they listened to the feedback and they made a change. Maybe it's not the change I think is perfect, but they did hear what people said and they tried to make some changes. It's all subjective. The fin is like subjective, so I was hoping it would just be made an option, but okay.
There's some slight handling differences to reflect the geometries of the ship. So you lose a tiny amount of SCM and nav speed, but gain maneuverability instead.
We also added this kind of sinister looking red light stripe on the canopy, which references iconic sci-fi like RoboCop, also Knight Rider. It has
as long as it doesn't
sinister
shine in our
high-tech
eyes.
vibe, and maybe even feels a little bit alive.
The other big change we've made on the rear is we've got these kind of large power capacitors. From there, you can see these really bright orange cables that kind of dive into the ship and then they kind of come back out and you can see where they connect into the weapons when they're deployed as well.
My favourite thing about the L22 is the size 4 laser repeaters.
With the energy weapons, this obviously means you are not limited in terms of firepower. You don't have that finite amount of ballistic ammo. You have energy weapons that recharge, so it allows you to stay in the fight longer.
They're still very elegant, they fold away, they just look very special in my opinion.
It also comes with a slight variation in the missiles that provide a little bit more firepower.
It trades out the size 1 missiles for size 2 missiles.
We've managed to fit 3 of these in each wing.
And another key differentiator is the fact that it has upgraded components by default.
It's got slightly upgraded quantum drive in it as factory standard.
And one of the nice things about the Alpha Wolf being a variant is it gets to use all of the base Wolf paints plus all of its new paints, and those new paints will be backwards compatible with...
See, they're being a little weird about which paints go on which variants, because the Asgard doesn't get the Valkyrie's paints. I think the Meteor gets the Mantis paints or doesn't. It's hard to remember, but this ship is getting the other one's paints, so how do people know what to expect? I don't know. I do like the ballistic weapons a lot more, I think. These lasers sound cool, but I do love the ballistics of the original Wolf. But yeah, I think this one looks better to me. I do really like the backside. I'm not crazy about those 2 wings coming out the sides, actually, in the back.
With the L21 as well.
One of the things that sets
doesn't.
Kruger apart from other manufacturers is they are sort of a closed loop for upgrades. They want you to upgrade from themselves and not look elsewhere.
They make custom integrated weapons that give a much more interesting, dynamic experience, but they know you want more options. They know you don't just want the basic that comes with the actual ship. Kruger's more than happy to provide people with as many options as they want, as long as you stay with Kruger.
So for that reason, we're introducing weapon kits for both versions of the Wolf. Coming alongside the Alpha Wolf is a ballistic weapons kit that allows you to swap out the laser repeaters for the ballistic Gatlings, which is something that will be important in the upcoming tactical strike groups.
Alternatively, if you love your L21 and its fin, you can get the new laser repeater and put that onto your L21.
This really allows you to pick which visual style of Wolf you like and then kit it out how you wish in terms of weapons.
That means that every time Kruger releases something new, it's not just new Kruger owners that will get excited, it's our old Kruger owners as well.
And I think this is something we'll see go.
How true is that going to be, though? How many different Wolves are they going to release? Is this something that goes across all of the Kruger ships? Is like they're trying to set up? I don't know. I mean, I appreciate that they're letting the weapons be switched out. I think that is very, very good. It would be annoying, but honestly, I think everybody kind of expected that they would make the weapons unique to each ship and require you to buy both ships if you wanted to have both weapons.
Forward with future Kruger ships.
So you're going on the record right now, there's more Kruger ships coming?
Yes.
What you need to ask yourself is, which one do you like better? Or which one you feel like flying today? Some days you might want to fly close to the water and skim it. Other days you might want to feel a bit more RoboCop. Both of them are beautiful ships.
Oh.
And I think a lot of people will want to own both.
I was really happy with the L21. I think the L22, it stands alone, I think it's a great looking ship. I think it's a great functioning ship. Very happy.
The team did an amazing job kind of bringing the concept to life. I hope you feel like you have something powerful in your hands. I hope when you see the weapons extend, you realize that this ship packs a punch.
God, the camera work is so good. The camera work is so freaking good. Oh my God, this shot.
When you see, I hope you feel like you have something powerful in your hands. I hope when you see the weapons extend, you realize that
This is
ship
an
packs a
insanely good
punch.
shot. They get you with that marketing, huh? Yeah, I don't know. It's weird how they're doing it all because it's another one of these pseudo variants, but this one's being treated differently because you can swap stuff in between them. I'm kind of indifferent about it, to be honest. I think that variants can be good, but they still got to be careful about. They got to be consistent. I don't know. Let's take a look at the Q&A thread. Maybe there is something to explain why they're being a little more easygoing about this than the other variants. Probably just because they're launching kits with it and stuff. I think really they're making these bespoke because the balancing aspect of it, complicating these things for themselves, but I do think that it makes it easier to balance if the weapons are limited to just a certain number of ships. They don't have to worry about what happens if these weapons get put on other ships. Zoran, thank you so much for the Prime sub. And Sterling, I think I got you, but yeah, you jumped in. You said thanks for the shout. Much love, friend. I hope you guys are doing well and enjoying the stream. All right, so the Wolf has a quantum drive. The highlighting features are push to elegance, show there's room for smooth and sleek lines in a deadly combat focused ship, hark back to 50s era concept, vehicles, mixed flow, flowing lines with aggressive cockpit location. Yeah, it's made to look like a warplane. Okay, so this is all L21 stuff. Here we go, here's L22. How will the L22's Alpha Wolf's armament differ? It's getting some bespoke size 4 repeaters, swappable with the bespoke size 4 Gatlings. Players can choose to run either set of weapons on either ship or mix and match between the two. So you can do a ballistic and a laser. They're swappable via VMA as well as by hand with a tractor beam if a player owns both the L21 and L22. A weapon kit is not required to swap the ship's included weapons. Max Genie, thank you for the Prime sub as well. Appreciate you. Y'all with the Prime, with the Amazon Prime, do have a free Prime sub every month. Doesn't have to be used here, it can be used anywhere, but if you do use it here, you get some more points towards our giveaway for the Clipper, so I guess that can help. But you should use it wherever you love the person who's streaming. No pressure, you know? Do you envision the L22 Wolf excelling at strafing runs and extended engagements? Yes. Yeah, it'll benefit from that. What is going on with my freaking neck? Hi. Toes. J-Corn, thank you for the Prime sub too, dude. Much love. Much was discussed regarding the lower fin on the L21, which has been announced to be retractable in a future update. Is there a functional reason why the fin was designed smaller for the L22, or was it aesthetic? And are there other differences in the design? This sounds like somebody literally asking, did you listen to us? They said they decided to not have as prominent a fin in the L22 to provide a visual alternative to the 21 while maintaining the overall aesthetic. Dude, I think they just realized that the fin was just not a very popular move. And not to say that nobody likes it. I see you, Waffle. I know you enjoy it. But it was just such a strong and striking design decision, just sort of out of nowhere. Will weapon kits become a staple of the Kruger brand going forward, and can we expect that this level of modification may be made available for other Kruger ships? They say yes, this is something to expect on future Kruger ships. How about the other ones though? How about the Merlin? The Archimedes? Is it considered a variant, and will it be compatible with L21's paints? Yes, it is considered a variant. As such, the paints for both ships can be used interchangeably. So if we go back to the Asgard Q&A, the same question was asked. Is it possible to apply Valkyrie paints to the Asgard? They said no, the Asgard is treated as a new and separate vehicle, so paints from the Valkyrie are not applicable to the Asgard. So the Asgard is not a variant, and the L22 Wolf is a variant. But like, how is the Asgard not a variant if the Freelancer Max is? Does the Freelancer Max does it take skins from the regular Freelancer? Oh, it's not like my neck. Nah, dude, I get ingrown hairs easily because I have very curly hair. So it's just stabbing me. Because they need room for the control surfaces. Without the fin, they added the rear wings. But they didn't say that. You can put the skins on the other Freelancers. The Asgard and the Valkyrie are the same base chassis. I mean, I would say, look at these ships, man. It's easy to think that this is an Asgard back here, but it's not. It's a Valkyrie. They look basically the same. They just have a couple of differences. All Freelancers share skins. Yeah, so I don't get that, man, because if you look at the Freelancer, dang it. Like, is there a side-by-side picture anywhere? You can kind of see it here. Nope, you can't. Here we go. Here are the variants of the Freelancer. Look at how different the original actually, I think this is the Mist. Look at how differently they look from this Freelancer though. This thing is wider. It has extra thrusters. It has a bigger wing. It's got a thicker body overall. These are the same kinds of things that are true of the Valkyrie compared to the Asgard. So I feel like they really messed up when it comes to this ship and the Mantis. And I don't even know about the Asperia Prowler utility, but there's been a little bit of inconsistency in my opinion when it comes to these ships. The Cutlass Blue does not take the skins from the Cutlass Black. If the base mesh model is different, the UVs will be different, and you can't make that kind of swap. But why is the base UV different between the Max and the original Freelancer? Or why is it the same there but not the same here? How about the Mantis? Can you put the Can you put the Mantis skins on the Meteor? Did that even get asked in this one? I bet people just weren't as interested in knowing. Like the recent Asgard from Anvil or the Centurion, Spartan, and Ballista ground vehicles, the Meteor is a new ship based on an existing chassis and thus not a variant. As such, it does not share paints with the Mantis. Okay, how about then the Guardian? The Guardian was a variant, right? The MX was a variant of the original Guardian, so does it share the skins? I think I saw that it shares the skins and they just show up a little bit differently on the ship. If they share a name, it's mostly shared, but then there's the Cutlass, which isn't, because the Cutlass does not share skins, right? If you change the name, it's not a variant. That's how they're doing it. You had the paint back and would put whatever on your MX when you had it pledged. Okay, so the MX does take skins from the Guardian. Freelancer probably wouldn't be considered variants if they came out today. Yeah, I think you're right. I think they would have released it like this. Okay, so the MX shares skins with the original Guardian. And I'm guessing then that the Prowlers do too. Oh, it's only one skin that the Cutlass Black doesn't share. Okay, that's interesting. Tractor beam. Yeah, they don't say anything about the skins here. So who knows? I don't even know. I think they're just like, we just need, I don't know. It needs to be more clear. It's confusing. This is actually confusing to understand what ship you can get and what skin you can get on that ship. I'm glad. Don't get me wrong, it's not a complaint. I'm glad that the L22 and L21 can share skins. The fact that we don't really know whether to expect if it does or not feels like it's making something more confusing again. The Golem Ox is twice as wide, but just a variant. But all the skins are available. What the heck? So it's really all about the name. If the name is different, then skins aren't compatible, I guess. Definitely could be a problem with the maps and texturings and stuff. If there are any added geometry like wings or additional bits, the skin texture will have to be different. The Max is just bigger and uses the same parts, just stretched. No, the Max adds another thruster. Like it adds in a whole other thruster there. Doesn't that change the geometry of the ship? Like this piece doesn't exist on the other ships. Really clear from that Q&A, the Asgard isn't a variant. If that was true, then the Paladin would be considered a variant of the Valkyrie. What? What? Are you saying the Paladin is as close in design to the Valkyrie as the Asgard is? Brother, you don't have to say that. Do you think the Asgard is a bit of an anomaly because you don't think they expected it to be as popular as it is? Having done a little 3D modeling in college, I would say if the variant has less geometry than the original, they can share, but I think it's situational. CIG even said that. I mean, I feel like the Paladin looks similar to those ships, but this, dude, the Asgard and the Valkyrie look like almost the same ship to me. It's got the same cargo ramp. It has the same thrusters. It has the same air intakes. It has the same cockpit. It's got a turret in the same place. It's got its tail in the same place. The bottom cargo section black shading is all the same. Like, the Paladin definitely looks similar. I could believe it's built on the chassis, but I don't consider it anywhere near as close to these two as these ones. But, you know, whatever. It's not important. None of this is really all that important. I think that this is weird. The way that they're handling the skins with the variants or the not variants, I think that it's gotten things to be a little bit more complicated, but we'll take it. Any ship that's got the same name or it's built on the same chassis is going to share the same skins. Terrapin Medic share skins with the base Terrapin? Actually, I don't know. Do the Terrapin Medic and the Terrapin share skins? They must. They're basically the same name. So they kind of have the same name. That's also weird, because the Sabres all have the same name. No, they don't. No, they call it the Peregrine and the Firebird. Those are all different names. It can depend on the team working on the ship. Maybe they did code it different, or CR alone said so. Yeah, that could be it too. Could be a bunch of different reasons for it. I just think it's a little... The Mantis and Meteor skins aren't compatible. Different names. Yeah. It's a case-by-case basis, in my opinion, at this point. Like, you just gotta know the ship specifically. I wouldn't assume anything. I think that's the safest thing, is to, like, check with it every time. You're pretty sure it's going to depend upon how much different variants affect their respective skin textures. See, but my thing is, like, there's got to be a point at which you bite the bullet and make a skin compatible for two different ships because they look close enough. It's all subjective anyways, though. Let's talk about another ship. L-22, interesting ship. Maybe not for me. I don't know. I don't know. Give me 1 second, folks. You rock. You know that? I was summoned back by Tyrus. Hello. Or not Tyrus, somebody else yelling out Tyrus. Waffle Insanity said, we appreciate your share. Thank you for the support. Thank you, Waffle, for getting us started on YouTube support today because of the chair. Good job, Chair. Chair is very happy to be here with you guys. Thank you for making him feel so comfortable. I think there's 9 different versions of the F7C, though there's Mark II and Mark Is. I wonder if they all share skins or share skins in their generation or not at all. Yeah, I don't even touch the Hornets. But it would be nice if there was a web page here or somewhere where you could get a I don't know, a ship skin matrix now we're gonna need. It's a lot. Do the different Atlas mechs must use the same skins? If Tomato gets a new chair, will it share the same skins? Nope. That chair is going to be called something different, sorry. The chair needs a fin. Oh, capitalism. I am good. Thank you. I appreciate it. I've got like 30 million credits. Urkel technically does. It's fitting that a third-party service is covering that. Doesn't Urkel have something like that? Skins livery list? Yeah, I guess so. That tracks. Skins. Man, I haven't been on here in a long time. Nice resource. But I don't know where the skin compatibility is. Thank you very much. Danny the Dude, thanks for becoming a member on YouTube, friend. Hope you're enjoying the stream and having a good beginning of your week. You have 27 billion? Why do you have 27 billion credits, man? One issue with skins is immersion. Urkel is what the pledge store should be. Yes, this kind of stuff is... But that's how it's always been. Look at UEX. All right, let's talk about the Clipper. I'm a little late on this, but it's got a Q&A to tell us a little bit more about the details. Very interesting ship. It's like that fish. What kind of players would get the most out of it? They call it a generalist ship, naturally designed for generalist players, those who don't specialize too deeply in one career or want to be prepared for multiple eventualities over the course of a game session. To be quite honest, that just makes it feel like the Cutlass Black V2. The Cutlass Black was made at a time when the generalist ship meant being able to defend yourself, transport some boxes, and bring a friend with you. Now, 8 years later, a generalist ship means being able to transport some boxes, bring a friend, store your weapons, get some medical help, and to do some crafting. It's almost like the Cutlass V2, I want to say. But more focused on a solo person. They've never made a generalist ship before. At least they've never made one that's called a generalist ship, but I do think that the spirit of a lot of these ships that we've had have been kind of generalist focused. They just didn't have all of the different types of gameplay a starter might need. They might make another version of a ship like this in 5 years that has different things on it, but still called the quintessential generalist ship. We'll see. They say it feels like it sits between the Cutter and the Corsair. Was it designed to fill that middle ground? The answer, while occupying the middle ground in size, the Clipper operates in a slightly different position role-wise to both ships. It allows a sole occupant to experience multiple game loops from a single chassis. The thing that makes this ship is the medbed. Ferrister, good to see you in chat, dude. Thanks for hopping in. Hope you've had a lovely weekend. The medbed definitely makes a big difference for this ship, yeah. They've sold the Cutter in a generalist starter pack. I do believe that's because, like, again, I don't think, if I'm not mistaken, I don't think they, like, specifically called it a Cutter, though. Or called it a generalist. I think it was about as close as they get to something like a generalist, but they didn't even have, like, the word in mind for some reason. Does this ship have, let's see, aside from slight armor advantages, the Cutter has a full interior, healthy cargo, and generous quantum. Yeah, I don't know if, compact and robust spaceship catering to individuals from all walks of life. Light freight. They call a lot of ships that I would think would be generalists as freight. The Cutlass is called medium freight. The C1 is called medium freight. I guess the Cutter here is called light freight. That's why this idea that they're calling this generalist is an interesting one. Wumpus Glumpus. Wumpus the Grumpus. How are you doing? Good to see you, mate. Welcome in. Oh, Brigadier. Speaking of the Spirit, you would buy a Spirit variation with the same amenities as the Clipper in a heartbeat? Yeah, absolutely. That'd be amazing. Marketing over lore. Doing alright, Razor. Thank you. Classification is a suggestion. Well, yeah, the Salvation makes for a great bomber, but they wouldn't tell you that. Anyways, let's keep going through the Clipper here. What else they got to say? What kind of onboard amenities does it offer? It has a medical bed, crafting station, 12 SU of storage, accessible components, and full habitation. These features allow players to spend extended durations away from their home location and never have to talk to anybody else. How does it perform in combat? Not a dedicated combat ship, but it has 4 size 3 weapons and 8 size 3 missiles. The modest cargo holder of the Clipper means it's not designed to be a dedicated hauler, but it's perfect for keeping supplies on board or storing any goods you come across on your travels. Like extra components and relays and stuff. Tier 3 medical bed. No dedicated shelves to store med gel, so you have to keep it in the ship's inventory. They've got an armor closet. Does it rely on VTOL thrusters or does it behave more like a plane? If they say it has VTOL, I swear. Large wings provide plenty of lift when control surfaces are implemented. There's no dedicated VTOL. Cool. I feel like a lot of ships have dedicated VTOL without having obvious VTOL anymore, and that's because they know that people are going to get annoyed with not having VTOL. But like, there's not really much point in making VTOL a useful feature if you're just going to give every ship VTOL functionality. So I'm glad to see they're still at least being somewhat limited on it. I agree with you, Ferrister. Starting ships should just be general in general. Can we get a shout out for Ferrister, please? And Galadrum's also in here. Hey, man. Good to see ya in the chat, dude. Should we get a shout out for Ferrister and Galadrum? Let the folks know these two lovely individuals. I know, Ferrister, you don't stream on Twitch, but still, we're doing it anyways. Thanks for dropping by, man. Clipper seems like a good second ship, yeah. I've seen multiple people say it reminds them of Star Wars style ships. Ferrister, YouTube is telling you that they love you. Okay, you can't control the wings separate from the landing gear, so they will always be opened when you're flying. Do they have to be open, folded to land in sticky spaces such as small hangars, or can I fly with the wings fully deployed? The wing folded state is tied to the landing gear. When landing in hangars, there's enough clearance, as otherwise it would extend beyond the safe area within hangars. So yeah, you're basically stuck flying this all the way like that. Ferrister said he's got all the love for you guys too, YouTube. Maybe a little less Twitch watching and a little more video making. Get back to work, Ferrister. You're making a video right now. He's on point, guys. Why not tune into one of my favorite creators while doing so? Because now I'm just distracting you, man. Now we're just taking away all your productivity. I do appreciate you being here, though. Thank you. Angolia, what you like about the Clipper is that CIG seems to finally start to realize there is room for solo ship progression as well, instead of going to multi-crew. Oh yeah, Galadrum. I'll get back to you. I'm sorry, man. I am not good with Discord. Let's continue. Once crafting as gameplay is implemented, what type of items or equipment should the Clipper produce? On its initial implementation, we aim to include the ability to craft smaller personal items, but given the ongoing development of the crafting system, we expect the variety of things it can produce to continue to evolve over time. Personal items, I'm guessing, are like armor, weapons, fuses, maybe components. No, components probably not. Personal would be med pens, multi-tools, tractor beams, that kind of stuff, I guess. Can the Clipper's integrated crafting station use resources directly from the ship's grid, or do I need to load the crafting station manually? The current design intent is for crafting, allowing both of these options. Okay. I wonder if there's any consequence for using the cargo grid, though. Interesting. All right, let's take a look at what they actually have to say about this ship.
One of the tenets...
Wrong one.
There's a lot of gameplay loops in Star Citizen. There's mining, salvage, cargo, piracy, and a whole host of combat roles ranging from large capital ships which require a huge crew down to these single-player fighters, with more coming online over the next year. There's a lot of players that specialize in each of those roles, and there's ships that are dedicated to those roles. But there's also a lot of players that sort of don't want to be put in a box, and they just want to leave themselves open to whatever happens in the verse. We refer to this as the generalist playstyle, and we have a few ships that sort of fit into that role, such as the Cutter and the Corsair. We felt there was an ideal space in the middle to introduce a new ship, and that's the Drake Clipper. The Drake Clipper is the jack of all trades and master of none, really.
So it's the Jared of spaceships.
It is Drake's answer to the ship that does a little bit of everything. And it's really there for the person that wants to go out, explore, but without needing to bring along friends. It is Drake's solo ship for the person that just wants to go and see what the universe has to offer.
The Clipper is that silhouette that everyone has been hankering for from CitizenCon 2024, the large, vertical, multi-positioned wing Drake ship.
We had a few different ideas that we tried.
Yeah, there's a reason that nobody could guess it. It freaking looks weird, man. What did the silhouette look like? All right. Yeah. See, the landing gear looked like one big solid piece from this position. And you can't even see like the 3 landing gears sticking out. So that on its own looked weird already. I think it's missing this fin. I don't see that.
Large, vertical, multi-positioned wing Drake ship.
Yeah, I think they removed that fin. That's supposed to be right here. You see that light roundness of the thruster there. The gun sticking out. Got the thruster here. And you could see the window here, so you could tell that there was like a cockpit here for sure. But man, this is such a strange shape. Even without
the large
like it just still looks weird. Bard, you came for the drop, stayed for the vibe. Thank you for sticking around, dude. We like to keep vibes high here. See you in a bit, Ferrister. You think they changed the landing gear altogether? They had a smaller wing and different lights in the front.
Multi-positioned wing Drake.
Yeah, the wing's a little bit different. It was like mostly figured out, but yeah, it seems like a couple things changed here and there.
We had a few different ideas that we tried, and we ended up with one that was very thin and narrow that CR quite liked, and we saw it as like a stepping point between the Cutter and the Corsair, as like the middle ground between those. It just looks straight. You look at it and you know.
Very little has changed from the concept.
You look at it and you know.
Look at this freaking weird design, man. What's even going on here?
Very little has changed from the concept to the final ship. I think some parts of it we had to like stretch and make smaller or make bigger, but it was very easy to work from.
So really, you just copied Lath's work.
Oh, 100%, yeah.
From the outside, I think the first thing you kind of notice when you walk up to it is just how tall it is. The role we wanted it to have, we wanted it to be able to do loads of different stuff, but we wanted to keep it within a really small solo footprint. And so what we decided to do was build on its height.
I love its like top profile it has, where you can properly see the difference in shape of the wings. I think it looks cool.
The shapes, like there is a lot of angular shape in the design. In the side, we have 3 thruster and big twin engines in the rear.
It makes it seem so brutish because it's so simple. It's just massive engines shoved on wherever they could find them, and it doesn't matter what it looks like, it's just big and it goes.
There's a bit of weirdness to it. It's got that Drake thing where it's not symmetrical. It looks a bit ungainly and weird, but I really like how it's all come together.
How asymmetric is it outside of the wings? Don't think I've gotten a good straight-on shot. Hello, Fraser. Welcome in. You're curious why Drake is using the rock cockpit so much on its newest ships. It looks more like the mule cockpit to me. They added split and bigger wings for easier landing in hangars. The engines, the thrusters are different. Yeah. So it's mainly the wings and the thrusters. And the fuselage slightly bulges. Okay.
Brutish because it's so simple. It's just massive engines shoved on wherever they could find them, and it doesn't matter what it looks like, it's just big and it goes.
There's a bit of weirdness to it. It's got that Drake thing where it's not symmetrical. It looks a bit ungainly and weird, but I really like how it's all come together.
The Caesar mechanism of the lift features a pure industrial, functional approach. It's very cool to see it in a ship.
And despite its utility, it's no slouch in the offensive department either. Typical to Drake, it comes with 4 size 3s for its actual weapons, as well as a number of missiles to fire at your opponents.
So going up the ramp, you enter into the cargo bay, and that is literally the bottom floor of the ship.
The ramp is go down in the front side, and you can see in the side where ramp it joins are really nice details, fans and some very big hydraulics. And in the cargo, in the ceiling, nice detail there, really nice pipes and a lot of greebles there. It can hold 10 to 12 SCU.
The biggest box you can get in here is realistically a 2 SCU box, but it's really ideal for single 1 SCU boxes. Then at the rear of the cargo room is the ladder up to the mid-deck. At the top of that ladder, you enter into the lower sort of engineering component room area.
I think engineering for me, it makes it feel hot, it makes it feel sweaty, it makes it feel like there's a lot of stuff going on to make it function, and I think we've kind of captured that quite well in engineering. I think there's a lot of subtle movement going on. We've tried to make it kind of as immersive as we can so that when you're in there, I think the lighting complements it, the movement complements it, you know, the audio complements it. It feels like you're in the heart of a machine.
The engineering deck is split between 2 floors because of the narrow shape of the ship. The only way to the top deck is a ladder. We couldn't get the components down the ladder. So we've implemented basically a fun little trapdoor in the engineering room that you move the components through with like a tractor beam. There's a big clunky lever that you pull and the trapdoor just swings open, so don't stand on it when you pull the lever.
That's what I did.
And then going forwards from that, you enter into the medical bay.
It's Drake's take on what a medical bay should be. If I'm honest, the inspiration from it for me was more of a sort of like a butcher's room.
It has got red wine-colored floor. It looks very heavy duty and like industrial.
And a lot of people were a little bit like, do we want a med bay to have a red floor? Because normally, medical bays they're clean, they're clinical. But for me, Drake's take on a medical bay is, there's a bit of blood on the floor. Well, I wanted it to feel a little bit like it was somewhere you'd use as the last resort rather than somewhere that you'd be happy waking up.
The Clipper has a tier 3 medical bed in the med bay.
This is great for healing minor injuries as well as short distance regeneration.
It gives you that little bit of a safety net, truly making it one of the best ships for someone to fly on their own.
You then have a room that is dedicated to the crafting machine.
Although the feature isn't online yet, you'll be able to make stuff on the fly while actually inside the vessel. And obviously, with the fabricator integrated into the actual ship itself, it isn't a case of choosing whether you want more cargo storage or the fabricator. You get best of both worlds.
But
The habitation room in the Creeper does not care about luxury or comfort. You'll see too much exposed mechanical components, pipes, wires, and no frills in general.
And then at the very top front, you have the traditional Drake cockpit, featuring very angular designed cockpit glass and a sort of seat and dashboard setup you'll be familiar with.
It feels quite contemporary. There's a lot of push buttons, there's a lot of glowing lights. The screens are kind of slightly curved, so it's got like that kind of nod back to old CRT screens, and we just wanted it to feel quite analog, or as much as we could in a modern spaceship.
The cockpit in the Creeper is quite spacious, and it gives the pilot a wonderful panoramic view thanks to its large glass cage.
I remember when we were doing the concept, it was kind of like an early idea, and we were umming and ahhing about to like where we want the cockpit to be, and then as soon as we saw it up at the front, it just kind of worked.
It's a Drake ship, it's always a fan favourite. The detail and the interest that we get to do with Drake means that they're always great fun to actually work on.
Very happy with it. It's another great Drake ship that just sort of adds to their lineup, and when you look at it, you can tell it's a Drake ship.
Is that a good thing or a bad thing?
I'll leave that up to you to decide whether that's a good thing or a bad thing.
Yeah, I'm going to say it, and I think it's my favourite ship this year, but no offence to any of the other ships that we're doing.
Defy symmetry. They really want to focus on the asymmetric part of this ship. Cool ship. I don't really have too many complaints. I mean, I haven't gotten to play it too much stats-wise. It sounds like maybe it's got some issues. But for what it is, the vibes it gives, and how it does it, I like what I see with this ship, and I think I might actually make a video about it, to be honest. It's a cool ship. Let's look at this the store page for it. What's the trailer look like? Actually, I haven't watched the trailer for it. Can take a look at that. Is that Keanu? Not quite. It like kind of looks good. It's like every once in a while I'm like, oh. Like right there. It's weird, but it looks good, like hurtling through atmosphere kind of. I don't know. This dude's just doing freaking some exercising down here. The only thing it can bully isn't a Reliant. Thought that might have been Tai Chi. Fun trailer. It's a vibes trailer. This game is big on vibes at this point. Granted, it's not a ship that's aiming to be anything specific for the game, so just giving folks like a sense of good vibes in the verse is probably the best thing you could do for a trailer like this. Interesting. I love the layout of it, man. I'm happy with this ship. I'm happy with what they did with it. I can't wait to try it out more. Reminder that we are giving one away. If anybody wants the Clipper and a copy of Star Citizen, you can get in by going to spacetomatogaming.com/giveaways or in chat here, !giveaway. We'll make the link pop up. Don't spam it though, just hit that link. And see if you can get one. I think this is a really fitting ship for your second or even somebody's first ship. Yeah, a lot of people are saying that they wish that the wings were angled downwards a bit. All right, what do we got? We also got the Ox. Alrighty, so a new cargo hauler. Have we looked at the Ox already? It's like a small. It's like a small version of the raft. You Excuse me. You know, when they were talking earlier this year in the monthly reports about a ship that they needed to figure out the cargo situation with, I think it might have been August or September. Maybe July. I do think it was this ship.
Of Drake as a manufacturer is from time to time they look at their existing catalogue of ships and go, can we make something with this that serves a different purpose? Whilst other manufacturers would dedicate the time and resources into making a whole new, shiny, latest, greatest ship, Drake is all about maximising value and extracting every single possible ounce of use out of their existing ships. Whether that's the Cutlass, having the medical red version of it from the base Cutlass Black, or from the Cutter spawning into the Rambler and Scout versions. Earlier this year, Drake introduced the Golem, their starter mining ship. And now they've upgraded it into the Golem Ox, a dedicated cargo hauler.
The Golem Ox is a variant on the Golem chassis from Drake. What we've done with it is we have removed everything that is unique to the Golem for mining, and we've...
Dude, the Argo cargo just got murdered. What the hell? Look at this. This is an Argo cargo, no?
Removed everything that is unique to the Golem for mining, and we've repurposed that chassis into something that is a little bit more functional for cargo carrying.
It's the smallest ship that can carry a 32 SCU container, and it can also carry 2 of them at the same time.
It can fit up to 32 SCU containers, but it's not exclusively 32 SCU containers. You could fit 64 individual ones or any combination between 1 SCU and 32 SCUs.
That's pretty cool.
The Golem Ox maintains the majority of the original Drake Golem chassis, with a dedicated cab at the front just for the player to sit in and fly. And then they've widened the rear superstructure to support carrying the 2 32 SU containers.
We've buffed up the size of the thrusters, and we've removed the big mining arm on the top, and instead we've replaced that with additional fuel tanks.
We've also slapped a deploying tractor beam turret on the rear, so that you can attach and detach cargo from the cockpit. It's got a little camera on the tractor beam, so you can see from the back view attaching and detaching cargo.
So we've got a little bit more fuel, we've got bigger thrusters, we've got twice the cargo carrying capacity in something that is still a very, very small footprint.
And a tractor beam, dude. The Argo cargo is just freaking screwed. I mean, it's cheaper, it won't have a quantum drive, so it worked for things that this might be too much for, but just... This is a hell of a cargo hauler.
It's quite nippy for its size. With the tractor beam on the back, you can quickly zoom in, grab some like loose cargo, and then zoom out. So it could be like useful to like recover valuables during combat situations.
As with all things Drake, it was built for a purpose, and then what we've done is we've kind of given it an additional functionality, an additional role, without having to kind of start from the ground up, which to me feels very Drake in terms of their kind of ethos of how they build ships.
The Golem Ox is a variant of the Golem, so it shares paints with the base ship, and comes with new paints that will be cross-compatible with.
So like, yeah, I mean, they extended the width of this ship, but they're still gonna have the skins apply. It's a weird conversation.
Original Golem owners. So there's lots of cool customization options available for Golem and Golem Ox owners now.
The Golem seems to take paint better than anything else. Like, I don't know what they did when they made it, but the Golem paints just hit differently.
I think the Golem paints are probably successful because Drake as a whole have a little bit more of a rustic feel to them. There's a little bit more aging and character in the material surface finishes, which really help when we then start putting on some quite vibrant, quite bright paints onto it. And they kind of contrast really well with the main kind of Drake framework underneath. It looks quite striking, and I think generally Drake ships take paints pretty well.
Very happy with the ship. I think it's been something a lot of players have asked for when they saw the original Golems, like why don't we do this with it? And so we're happy to introduce that.
Could there be more Golem variants in our future?
I would say it's probably not off the cards that we wouldn't do more Golem variants in the future, just because the ship is very cool and versatile. Medical Golem.
So not planning, but possible. So that is our final look at their latest ships, man. It's a cool ship. Cool cargo hauler. I don't have much to say about it. No notes, really. It's interesting, though, that it did not get a trailer. It's clearly not their more important ship. They got a trailer for the Clipper, trailer for the Perseus. I do not see one for the L-22. But they gave us behind the scenes. They gave us behind the ships. They gave us the inside Star Citizens, and it's still like, you know, you could go back to even IAE of last year, man. I don't know what's happening, dude. They're just not really sharing as much. IAE of last year. We had the first IAE episode, which was a talk with the vehicle director and the game director. Obviously, a lot of good information. That was November 22nd. So that was like the first days of IAE. That would have been last Thursday or Friday for us. Then they dropped another episode of the same show where they talked about... Same two. They talked about capital ship warfare and kind of just how it was changing. That was on the 24th, just 2 days later. Then they dropped another episode after they released the Polaris.
Where's my...
And I don't even remember what they talked. This one they talked about the future of master modes, the flight model, the stuff we were talking about before. That was on the 28th. So that was the end of the second week of IAE. That'd be this week for us. And then they did a fourth episode. They brought back in the guy who plays Jax McCreary. Had a conversation with him, talked about ships and stuff, and that was December 1st. So in the space of IAE, we got 4 17 to 20 minute videos telling us information about the game's development. And I hope that they do something again, but generally IAE always has a pretty big information drop, whether it's between these IAE shows that they have here, or sometimes, generally, they would do an entire Star Citizen live, where they would have a few people from the actual ship team. Here we go. 29:52. Hour and 19 minutes with the ship team. And then they had all the Jax McCleary videos. 53. What did we get at 53? Is this? This is FPS and flight teams. Kind of. This kind of would have related to IAE at least. We just don't get this kind of coverage anymore. But either way, that was the Golem. They gave us a talk show this time, right, with the lore. They're very much on the making the game and less about, you know, telling us about it. I wonder what Jared's doing. Trailer for a variant isn't as necessary. Yeah. Yeah, it's not the same. It's not the same kind of information as what we were getting before. But I see they did 2? Okay, so they're doing one of these for every manufacturer. I missed that they did a second one of these. This one got a lot less views though. I'm wondering if like people just listen to this one and realize that the video format this year isn't as much information. The lore is appreciated. That stuff is fun. Like it's cool to get some fun exploration of the game, but it's not informational, which is what people are looking for at IAE. Do I think that's a backlash for the community being so toxic? No. I think it's just them not wanting to put time into that anymore. They've got things, they don't need to sell us with that stuff anymore, which is a bummer. But the whole sort of philosophy of how we do all this has kind of changed this year. It felt like all the other AI podcasts you've listened to? Really? I have not even listened to one of those before. There isn't really anything new that's changing the game. Last IAE we had capital ships. I imagine when engineering comes in, we'll get a big info drop. Maybe. More so just the tradition of it than anything. Talk about Maelstrom. How's that affecting your development? How's stuff going on command modules? You know? What's work like on the heat system in the spaceships? We've heard about engineering. We don't know how they affect thrusters and stuff. Little Q&A. You believe wholeheartedly that a company like Blizzard, for example, still lives off their glorious past. You don't want to sound so negative, but you believe that SC still funds itself from the promise they made 10 years ago. That's why these ships still sell and will sell no matter how many they pump out. You're not even sitting in a high bore here. You spent 200 this IAE. I think they're still very good at selling the dream still. Jack showed up in the talking shop. Where's Jackson here?
Hell, the silhouette is top notch, but I can't help feel like RSI is kind of playing the current trends with some of the design choices, which is just very un-RSI.
Well, for argument's sake, RSI would beg to differ. They say they're all about innovation. It's in their mantra, right? But truth is, they're not really known for taking big swings design-wise.
Some might say that's been a key to their success.
Some others might say shaking things up is a breath of fresh air.
It does feel like more of a classic Corvette than, say, the Polaris.
That's true. The Polaris is classified as a Corvette.
Street treat. No need to take a seat. Big Benny's. Fuel up quick before your next quantum tick. Big Benny's is proud to sponsor Talking Shop. Big Benny's. Grab. Eat.
That
Noodles.
was spectacular. Good read, Gale.
Really?
No. But you're getting a little better.
If my life's accomplishment is getting better at that, kill me now.
Don't worry. You're not improving that much. But thanks for trying. It means we both get paid.
All right. Can we please move on? It's time for my personal favorite segment, Teach's Tech Talk. What is going on? Can you hear? We're recording.
You should deal with this.
Niels, it's Niels. Niels, we're recording in here. What is this all about?
Frickin' Niels.
Sorry, folks. We'll be back in.
I said you can come back. I demand satisfaction, sir. I didn't escape that crooked pyro faction just to be ignored in a more civilized system.
I'm really sorry, guys.
Yeah, sure you are.
I told them they had to wait at the front desk, but they barked.
We've waited long enough. We're late to IAE, and we're very important. Shh, Jimmy. They don't know that.
Holy Sheehan ball bags. He's alive.
Guys, we're on air. What's going on?
I don't know where you were trained in customer service, but...
Customer service?
Wait, is that a mic? Is this some kind of show?
Sir, you aren't supposed to be back...
Lexi, do you know who this is?
Obviously not.
Maybe?
This is Jax McCleary. Niels, why didn't you say that?
Look, who now? You told me to tell him to shove his ship right up his ass.
What? I never said that. If I had known it was Jax McCleary, this man is a legend. Galactic Gear? Galactic Tour? The IAE? Whitley's Guide? Need I go on?
Well said. Some respect at last. I knew the people of Levski were on the right side of the system.
Except we don't see
didn't catch
those
your
things.
name.
Oh, I'm Gale. This is Lex. We do this little unofficial show out of the back of the
that's
shop.
great,
here. It's
Dale,
not-
but I really just need to get my ship fixed and be on our way. As you seem to know, the IAE is already in full swing over in Horizon, and I'm missing at least 7 lavish manufacturer parties with open bars and top-notch hors d'oeuvres as we speak. Oh, you're
Okay.
right, Jimmy.
That's the RSI one. I want to see what they say about Drake, if they improved anything on it.
Lexi Marlowe, and with me, as always, the true voice of the People's Alliance, and I'll waste no time telling you so. It's Jax McCleary's backup dancer, Gail Kessler.
I am the true voice of the People's Alliance.
I know, Gail.
I'm going to jump ahead a little bit.
These are crap, Lex. It looks like a Corsair and a cutter had a rough night at Cafe Musane, and 9 months later, their regrettable love child was birthed unceremoniously into existence.
Why does it have to be a rough night?
Because nothing about that ship is the product of sweet or gentle.
Should have called it the Gale then. Anyway, that's what's so cool about it though. It's got that asymmetrical thing going on that really hammers home the whole nautical analogy.
Hammers is right. Drake wouldn't know subtlety if it hit him with a hammer.
Nailed it.
I'm not the vocabulary of the people.
Hammer. Nailed it. Nothing?
Yeah, all right.
I genuinely think this ship deserves some props. It really embodies the ideal of independent solo space travel.
Embodies the ideal of underperformance in the name of multi-purpose, you mean?
It's a true jack of all trades.
And an even truer master of none, like Drake needs any more of those.
Well, at least this one isn't just a fighter pretending to be some other type of ship. No shade to the Cutlass, of course. Those things keep us in business.
Yeah, exactly, on account of they break down all the time. Unlike a Rock DS, that can't break anything but common sense.
Come on, lighten up, Gale. This is like the perfect ship for you.
Besides calling it the Gale?
You could just head out into the black. You wouldn't even need to shit in a bucket.
I
like
appreciate
those
Rock
monstrosities
DS
I've heard about. And you'd never have to speak to another soul ever again. Just go fight the fight and do your thing.
I'll take the bucket.
What would it take for you to ever fly a Drake ship?
Have it made by Argo.
Then they'd just all be orange.
Yeah, but they'd work. And won't quit on you like a buccaneer or a...
Hey, all ships break down, Gale. Like I said, if they didn't, we'd have to do this full time.
Hey, I'm ready. I've got a tight 20 about how pretentious consolidated Outland can be.
You should be thanking Drake and their affordable ships. Some folks couldn't afford to fly at all if it wasn't for them.
Affordable? You're forgetting the Cutlass Steel. Gale remembers.
Since Andon took over, at least our marketing's trying to stay true. Even if they do have to have an angle.
All right, you want to go? Let's go. The fact that we even have to bring marketing into a discussion about the quality of a ship is really a sad sign of the times. Half of what you see in those trailers...
Okay, let's see. You see.
The ships don't even do. But seeing as you brought it up, Lex, seriously, power to the people? You call it empowerment, I call it bait and switch. If Drake is powered anything, it's those pricks in Pyro.
That was the old Drake under Jan Dredge. Everyone knows technically Drake hasn't been directly associated with pirates in years.
Technically? Directly? A Copian doesn't change its spots. How are you gonna claim that you don't cater to freebooters and then turn around and release a ship called the Corsair?
Good marketing's good marketing.
And if they're really for the workers, then why are their ships ending up in the hands of the same raiders who bleed honest haulers dry? Make that make sense. And Arden isn't for the workers. He's a classic capitalist. Just look at what he did to Wolfval Aerospace. Not to mention that sanctimonious article he wrote a few years back. Please.
Well,
at least call it what it is. Exploitation dressed up as ambition.
Why don't you tell us how you really feel?
Why, thanks, Lexi. I think I will. Arden is as trustworthy as his #1 customer, Amelia Boyd. Case in point, the Ironclad. You remember that? Drake's juggernaut of free enterprise.
I get that reference.
The so-called beacon for intrepid pioneers of industry. And every year, it's just around the corner, but nowhere to be seen. Still isn't on a launch pad. All that talk about empowering the little guy rings pretty hollow when the poster child for their workers' revolution is a no-show. And now, instead of delivering what they promised, they're pushing this junk. Arden, Dredge, they're all the same. Hype, delay, and profit before principle.
Wait, so what does he want Drake to do? Make a more Fancy
Doing
ship.
his best. Drake was a mess when he came in. It's not his fault bad people use good ships.
Oh my God, listen to you.
Beetle, thank
Lexi,
you
is
so
this
much for
sponsored
being here.
content? We
Have a good
to
day.
announce that this is sponsored content, right?
Did you not see him? Arden on Good Morning Terra a few weeks back.
Good Morning Terra? Why would I watch that? Why would you watch that?
I know, it's kind of embarrassing.
Kind of.
I find their low-stakes banter kind of fun. It's a guilty pleasure.
I have failed you as a mentor.
True. This show is living proof. Anyway, we have the interview, and I think it actually shows Arden has really embraced the Drake mission statement. Here, I've got it queued up.
Oh, no.
That's true, Steve. I have stayed with Drake a lot longer than the last few companies I helmed, and well, I guess that's just because I feel like I found my people. The people.
Oh, wow. Laying on a bit thick, isn't he?
Continuing.
No.
I think we've done a lot of good work in terms of distancing ourselves from the company's past mistakes.
Owning their mistakes.
I mean, does anyone even remember the dredges at this point?
You know, I actually prefer the Dredges. At least they were honest about their moral bankruptcy. Arden is just...
The hero Drake needed but didn't deserve.
Well, I was going to say tool bag, but yeah, go ahead.
The numbers speak for themselves, Steve. Sales have never been better.
Sales.
The Clipper just cleaned up in Whitley's Guide's best new
You
ships,
love Whitley's.
snagging the most reliable,
It's true.
Welcome, everybody. Thank you for coming in.
affordable, and user-friendly awards.
Tomato will be with
Hey,
you.
Nargos, thank you for the raid, buddy. I appreciate you. Give a little shout out for my man. Thanks for dropping in with the folks. Welcome in, folks. We're just covering the different Star Citizen news that's been going on over the last few days.
Listen to him, Gale. That's not an act. It's truth. Sure, maybe he's shilling the Drake dream a little hard, but can you blame him? He's building something for the workers.
Oh, come
You, of all people, should know what it's like to stand for something.
You aren't even old enough to remember a pre-Arden Drake, kid. And I don't care how reliable, affordable, or adorable the Clipper is. I ain't lining the pockets of these scumbags.
Oh, you know what? It is pretty adorable, isn't it?
I have no power here.
Whilst we're talking about convictions, beliefs, and doing what's right for the people, it's time for one of your favourite people to join the show.
Has Bats come back?
Are you blushing?
No.
No, I'm patching in Molly. Once again, coming to us live from the convention floor in Orison.
What about Jax?
Me again, live from Orison. Today's crowd is a little different.
Yeah, she means dangerous.
Good to hear from you, Molly. Can you adjust your mic?
It's an intense crowd for sure, guys.
It's so much louder than the other days. Really hear the Drake spirit has arrived in Orison.
Probably along with that stolen smolts, eh?
Is that supposed to be a little joke?
Drake brings the scumbags out. You know, the type you usually only see at Defense Con.
Yes, the local bars are all popping. These people are, so real. Here, let's see if we can't find someone to... Hey, you! Huh? Are you excited about the Drake Clipper?
Don't touch me.
Okay, great. What about you, ma'am? Hello.
What do you want?
The Drake Clipper has so much going on in there. It's almost like a little all-inclusive spa. I mean, not the kind I go to, but still, it's kind of cute. What feature are you most excited about?
Are you recording this? I will cut you.
Oh, okay. Well, we're gonna go over here now.
Orison, yeah? Sounds like Lorville.
I told you.
I'm doing a job here. Sir, can I ask you a question? Hi.
Ooh.
Okay, never mind. Lex, Gale, I don't know about this. I might just have to bail on...
Oi.
Oh no.
Are you?
Security, I need to
Ain't
find
you the
security.
boarding crashed that ship?
Yeah, that was me.
Dude, that was frickin' awesome.
Wait, huh?
You told it. I totally subscribed to your feed after I saw that. You're so outrageous.
I mean, of course. It's just my brand, you know? Thank you for subscribing.
Will you sign my Kilgore and Pool? Between all the beautiful filigree here.
Oh, totally. Here, MAHLI.
Wait, okay, so this is actually the same girl who was in IAE videos last year? No, I think it was the year before. It's been 2 years. I think she showed up in the Hurston and the Resource Rush video, but they introduced this character back here, yeah.
Hi friends, it's your girl Molly, and on my way to Orison. Stunning clouds and the planet.
Some Star Citizen fans really hate this girl.
It is gorgeous. Big shout out to Origin Jumpworks for hooking me up with this entire experience. We're on an 890 jump. Yacht life. Origin Jumpworks has totally pulled out all the stops for this special intergalactic Aerospace Expo series. What a mouthful. But love, they totally hooked me up with the most luxe ride, the most happening cities in Stanton. Bye.
So her whole thing is like she's the annoying influencer person who's like making everything a little bit more enthusiastic than it needs to be. And they've used that a couple times throughout these videos.
Dot the I, of course.
Oh man, I am freaking out. Grizz and Pissock ain't gonna believe this.
Oh my god, stop. I'm like blushing.
Oh, wait. Are we on stream right now?
Well, we're...
Shut the front door. Oh, this is easily the second best day of my life. After the conjugal visit when I was in quarterdeck.
Right.
Where's the mic?
No, speak into there.
Okay.
She does know we're on air right now.
Hi, Grizz. Hi, Pissock.
No.
They're totally watching and they're totally freaking out. I'm with the Crusader Crasher. Screw the UEE. Fucking fascists.
Oh.
Hi, Mum.
Okay, Lex, Dale, back to you.
Oh, Molly found a fan. That's so cute and unexpected.
I told you, Lexi, Drake fans are legitimate freaks and psychos.
That's our cue to take a break. Back after this.
Were you a family member, loved one, or casual acquaintance injured in an elevator accident? If you or anyone you know has suffered bodily or emotional harm from a malfunctioning elevator, don't delay. Call us today.
My husband, George, was coming home after a long...
God. You know, I think when they update the patch, they should call it the Deacon and Lockwood patch.
day of work.
Wherever
the
they fix
last
elevators
thing
for
he
good.
needed was an unexpected 30-foot fall through the floor of an elevator.
We specialize in elevator-related injury, an all-too-prevalent problem in a galaxy choked by unrelenting progress and experimental technologies.
But after I called Deacon and Lockwood, everything changed. Now, George is back on his feet, literally, with a brand new posture and a brand new attitude. Sure, his walk's a little different these days, but that shiny synthetic spine and sunny new outlook, all thanks to Deacon and Lockwood.
Don't let faulty elevators bring you down. Call Deacon and Lockwood Attorneys at Law today.
Deacon and Lockwood Attorneys at Law.
Good for them, man.
For centuries.
I'm glad they can make fun of themselves, at least. I feel like they did not acknowledge a lot of their really big problems back in the day, but that's because it was all problems. Now it's like problems annoy us from having fun. But for a while, it was like the problems were the fun, and it was probably harder to joke about it then.
Aegis Dynamics has been synonymous with freedom, justice, and the unyielding ideals of the UEE. On the battlefield or home front alike, the proud tradition of Aegis assures hard-working, law-abiding citizens access to state-of-the-art military ships, vehicles, weapons, and gear. And while some manufacturers will sell to any miscreant or scallywag with enough credits in their wallet, we strive for something greater. With design that stands the test of time, we continue to define the future. Because at Aegis, we make ships for pilots, not pirates. Do what you know is right and fly Aegis Dynamics.
Well, that was certainly an ad.
Ooh,
I'm pretty on the nose at that.
Look, if it were up to me, we wouldn't run any ads. I hear enough about it from my associates in the People's Alliance. At least Aegis just gave us the facts.
Right, conveniently omitting all the stuff about their association with the Messers.
Hey, we've all got things we aren't proud of. And, well, I suppose Aegis did the work after the fall of the regime. Took on a new CEO, reinvented themselves, but stayed true to their core tenets.
Are you listening to yourself right now? You guys hear this, right? I'm not crazy. What is it like, Gail?
What?
Being born yesterday.
Fine. All right, you got me.
Anyway, this is supposed to be Drake Day, so let's talk about the next ship coming through the shop, the newly announced Drake Gollum Ox.
Oh, great. Drake never designed a ship they couldn't sell you a Banu's dozen variants of.
Well, you aren't the only variant cynic out there. Just read our message board. But there's a valid counter-argument, you know?
Who still uses a message board? It's the 30th century.
Levski's still out on the frontier. We gotta make do.
All right. Though I am a Drake cynic, and...
No.
Yeah, no, big shocker. Huh? I'm actually not a variant naysayer.
Well, I was shot dead in the streets.
So dramatic. You know, a lot of pilots see model variants as honest, good design.
Exactly. I mean, why waste a perfectly serviceable chassis on just one ship model? Drake is famous for making stout chassis that serve as good multi-purpose bases. Case in point, the Cutlass.
Oh, tell me about it. There's a Cutlass for everything now.
Say that like it's a bad thing.
Well, I mean, I get the counter-argument. Some might find adding some guns or sacrificing a bathroom for some extra storage space is a less than inspired design choice. And like we've been saying, Drake never let good taste get in the way of making some credits. Oh, I'm so happy now I can go potty in a storage crate instead of a toilet. This ship can hold up to 10 shit cube units. Thanks, Drake, for the workers.
And some might say they've always wanted to fly a Cutlass, but that needed the extra storage room.
And never needed to go to the bathroom.
I still say variants can be a necessary evolution, even if they aren't the most exciting thing.
That's kind of funny with the variant talk we were having earlier.
And I say, if a thing ain't broke...
The thing ain't Drake. Thanks.
Anytime.
How about now?
So, what's the final verdict on the Golemox? We've been theorising variants so long we forgot the show is supposed to be about the ships.
Well, let's look at what the Golem did right. It really gave aspiring solo miners true autonomy, something they weren't getting out of a short-range focus rig like the Prospector. I'll give it that at least.
Wow, an honest compliment for a Drake ship. Quasi-grazers might yet fly.
Hey, I call it like I see it, kid. If the Ox can do for aspiring solo haulers what the Golem did for miners, that ain't half bad. Maybe you earn a bit of coins the next time they aren't forced to buy Drake.
Plus, Golem Ox sounds like one of those Fiendcore rappers in Quentin.
Is that good or bad?
Depends how much you dig Fiendcore rap.
Oh, loads.
Finko.
It's almost time. You can taste it in the dust.
What
you
the?
Can smell it on the wind. Pray to the gods of speed. Bow to the kings of grit.
Wait, are these community ads? This is an Atmo Esports ad. That's a community group.
Because out there, if you're not leading, you're already lost.
Hey, Kyler
The
Bones.
dirtiest, deadliest race in the verse returns. January 24, 2956. The Daymar Rally. 3 outposts, 1 on Forgiving Moon. Enter your team now.
Awesome. I'm glad they got that. That's the real thing if you guys want to race with the team. GII is putting together a Daymar Rally race team. We're happy to have anybody, really. You don't have to be involved in racing. You don't, like, if you want to join, you can join and just be on the support ship. You don't have to be good at racing. We are not asking for you to win the race for us. We just want to give people the ability to try out a dedicated endurance race in a game where this kind of stuff just doesn't really happen, even in other games. It's a hard kind of event to run, and they do a good job of it. Now, that being said, we do get pretty close to getting up there in the leaderboards in this race, and the team is pretty kind to people. So if you're looking for somehow to get into racing, to get more into community, to get tied into Star Citizen in some way, but you don't know how and you don't want to shoot people, racing's actually a good one. And I would highly suggest hopping onto our Discord, consider joining the org, and do a little asking around. See if you can join the Daymar Rally race team, or just join the GII race team in general and compete with us. It's fun. I think you'll like it.
And we are back.
And it's finally time to bring some sanity back to the show.
Finally.
It's Teach's Tech Talk.
Gather around for Teach's Tech Talk, the best damn segment you ever heard, yeah.
Yeah, that was actually pretty good.
Really?
Well, good is subjective. It's time to thank the ship gods, because guess who we have back in the shop today?
Jax McCleary and Jimmy.
Lexi. Sorry, Jax. Welcome back to the shop. And Jimmy, of course.
Thank you, Robert. Well, we're still waiting for that thruster to arrive, so we were more than happy to lend our experience and expertise when you asked.
Again, did we ask?
Lexi.
So, let's talk Drake.
It's not Drake.
No, of course, you take the controls. Sorry, it's been a couple of rough nights at Cafe Musée. And Drake, well, it feels like a piece of home.
This year, they're debuting the Clipper, which will undoubtedly be another big hit for them.
Yes, I mean, the thing is truly versatile.
Oh, boy.
A lot of ships make that claim in the brochure, but the Clipper is a class above. I mean, the thing has a bathroom, a med bed, and, believe it or not, a crafting table. Truly remarkable. I do like that they brought back the asymmetry as well. Really backs up that whole romantic age of sail aspect that Drake likes to allude to.
Jax is still in the show.
Oh my God, I know, I was just saying
Plus,
that earlier.
we all know Arden's reputation for making stuff cheap and calling it affordable, and while this chassis does scream classic Drake to me, maybe that isn't such a bad thing. Sure, the design is very Drake, and the materials are run-of-the-mill, but it has dual shield generators and bifurcated power, which will certainly silence some of the haters that claim this sort of ship isn't sound under the hood.
I suppose it does have...
And it, of course, reminds me of the Corsair, which takes me back to Pyro. Lots of crazy days and wild nights on Bob's ship, eh, Jimmy?
Oh.
You know, I actually forgot about that, you scoundrel. And that case of Radagast was completely undrinkable after that. You know, I think Bob forgave me for stealing her cutter before she forgave me for that one.
No self-respecting pirate should be caught dead drinking whiskey.
Oh, Roscoe, they'll drink anything. What about that time we captured that entire mercenary crew? What did they call themselves? The Dirty Dingoes? Or was it... Oh, yeah, that's right. Can we say that on air? Isn't this a family show?
It's still not a family show.
Oh, good. What's that, Jimmy? I thought I'd put you under oath never to mention that again. All that extra cargo space certainly came in handy, though, eh?
So, speaking of cargo, any thoughts on the Golem Ox variant? Or even variants in general?
Golem Ox? That's a ship? Isn't that one of those rappers from
Niels,
Quinton?
is this guy's ship ready yet?
Yeah, Mr. McClanker?
McCleary.
Mr. Jimmy?
Jimmy.
I told you your ship was ready this morning.
Yeah, well, we'd already missed our day 3 broadcast from the show floor, so I figured, you know, you're here, and I'm here, and this microphone is here.
Wow. What a guy.
Hey, thanks, man.
Not you.
Oh, Jimmy, I'm sure these people don't want us to leave.
No, by no means.
Embarrassing? How am I embarrassing? There's no need to grab me. Ow, get off, get off.
Jimmy, don't take him out. No, it's fine. We love Jack.
Neil.
Niels, get him. Oh, man.
Jeez, Jimmy's stronger than he looks. Oh, speaking of microphones, I just realised Jimmy's mic wasn't hooked up this whole time.
Lexi. Professional as always.
Shame. He's such a
Jimmy doesn't
down-to-earth,
talk.
level-headed guy.
And what a
Jimmy's a
yapper.
stig.
Praise be to the showbiz gods. So, what did we learn today, Gail? Or is it Roscoe? Robbie?
Well, Lexi, I certainly learned more about current trends in music than I expected or cared to.
I meant, what did we learn about Drake and all their new ships?
Oh, well, we learned that Arden is still full of shit, but we also learned that the Golem Ox is actually fine, and that model variants, even Drake model variants, can sometimes just be a sign of a well-designed chassis.
What a succinct wrap-up.
I'm nothing if not succinct.
Unlike some people, Tracks, who I'm too professional, Tracks, to mention Jax.
Shouldn't we quit while we're ahead?
Right, our partner. Till next
Yeah.
time.
You've been listening to Talking Shop, brought to you from Levski and the Nick System, with hosts Lexi Marlowe and Gail Kessler.
So the people who work on videos, I don't know about these videos, but the people who work on videos for IAE and stuff for Inside Star Citizen is actually a dedicated team. I don't know what they're doing if they're not working on these videos, to be honest. If you go to the Star Citizen, Inside Star Citizens, can pick up, let's pick one from last year. That'll be a little bit more reliable. And you go to the end of the episode. Somewhere here. Do they not do it anymore? Huh. It used to say that people made them. Right? Am I crazy? Okay, well, for some amount of time, it had the names of the people who worked on these episodes pop up. But I guess I'm behind the times. Yeah, they had to make a lot of videos for IE. But it's kind of like, I'm hoping that these, there we go. Okay, so it says it here, from the Inside Star Citizen team, Jared, Will, David, Casey, Dave, Alex, Tom, Luke, Charlotte, and Mercy. I guess at some point they stopped doing that. Dude, I wonder if they got rid of the team. Like, did something happen? Why doesn't it say that anymore? Not weird to love editing. Editing is good fun. It can just be very, very stressful. No, this one doesn't have it either. So I don't know if like something happened and they stopped with the ISC team or what, but they used to have a dedicated group of people who would make these videos. They were hiring for it. They even had a dedicated budget for it. But they don't seem to use the same ending every time, so I don't even know. I don't know. They are planning on making 3 Squadron 42 games, yes. I don't know how successful that's going to be or how close they are to doing that. If they're still there, you wouldn't be surprised if they're all on board for Squadron marketing? Maybe. That's possible. Yeah, sub money used to go to it. It used to be all of the subscriptions, the monthly subscriptions people would make. That would go towards paying the people making the videos. Yeah, if you edit something all week, it's hard to make it fun at the end of the week for sure. Or if there's like deadlines on it and stuff, it can be stressful. It can be. Especially when you're editing Star Citizen stuff. You don't know what the heck's gonna work in Star Citizen one day. Maybe you need to get footage of a certain ship and then you find out that ship crashes the game every time anybody goes inside of it. You just never know. Let's look at the Nyx trailer. I haven't looked at this yet. With the new, wait, maybe I have looked at this. I have looked at this, yeah. Never mind. No, we've seen this. Because this is where, so I originally watched this when it came out, but I've been trying not to see the cutter or the clipper because I wanted to have a first reaction with you guys, and then I started the video and bam. But I guess that's because this is actually a direct continuation from the clipper trailer. I believe the clipper trailer ends. Yeah. Look at how the clipper trailer ends. Boom. Out of that jump point in Pyro into this jump point in Nyx. Is it the same guy? Can you see him? Is it the same pilot in there? I think it is, to be honest. It looks like Long Dark. That is him. It's literally a continuation from the Clipper trailer. Damn. Not bad.
What makes this place different?
You feel that too, right? Well, I could ramble on about hopeful horizons, chasing some distant dream. But the simple truth is, this place is different because it was made different.
Can we actually mine like this? They keep showing us this. And dude, that would be a great thing to have for IAE, an update about how ship mining might be changing soon.
It was built by us. A people with one purpose, I guess. Yeah, a purpose. To just live free. You see, no one hands this sort of life to you. It's worked for, even fought for, by us, and those who came before us. People with the will to grab this kind of freedom from an unrelenting grip. That's what I mean when I say this place was made. I don't mean the buildings or the rocks. Just look around. It ain't polished. It sure as hell ain't pretty. But it's real. It's free. And it's ours.
For now. Really good chance that they start war between the People's Alliance and UEE in some way. That's my hope, at least. Did they release an update about what, mining just a few days ago? I didn't hear anything about that. Was a dev talking about it, maybe? Overpowered FPS NPCs looking for questions for Star Citizen Live. Okay, see? Here we go. They are looking for questions for a Star Citizen Live this week, so it is happening. You know what I'm going to ask? How is ship mining and refining gameplay expected to develop with the arrival of the Nix system focused on industry? Simple question, right? Simple question. I don't think that's too complicated. It's not a win question. Let's see if they're into it. If you guys want to go and vote for that, I'll put it in chat. But I'm glad that they're doing an IAE on ships. As I said, this is kind of expected during this whole thing. But it does look like it's going to be, it's going to be the vehicle content design and the content design and vehicle teams. So they probably won't even be able to answer my question. My question is more for the gameplay teams. Well, who knows, man? The vehicle teams sometimes have some gameplay complications going on. Why the hell would you want People's Alliance to join up with the UEE? I didn't say join up with the UEE. I said go to war with them. The exact opposite. Did I hear anything about racing? You miss it since server mission came online. Would love to get some laughs. Dude, I don't know. Racing is still gone. I don't know why. I don't know why they haven't worked on that or said anything about it, but it's still not showing up. Ask Banu Merchantman when. Next year, Banu Merchantman? What else is going on in the, Got some talk about the Perseus cannons, it looks like, from Yogi. Let's see what that was about. So somebody was on Spectrum saying that the cannons, they're slow. Said they should be at least 1,000 meters per second. Yogi responded. Somebody said, what annoys me most is there's also some bullet drop on a round fired in space. Why is gravity influencing my ballistics in space? Yeah, that's definitely a glitch, man. Somebody made an issue council for it. They said, I can't reproduce this. They said, yeah, I think I need a video for this. Bullets arcing down might be down to local gravity fields in some areas. That's when in open space, suddenly the pilot pitch ladder pops up. But it might also be a refraction values on the material of the canopy glass, but in that case, the bullet doesn't bend, just a visual, so to speak, so I really need a video to tell what's going on. He says, what I'm seeing from some videos is there are very likely just a few data points being not correct in the spread parameters. The team already has a ticket about it once they've done the changes. We'll take a look if there's any awkward movement in the trajectory. So this is mostly just like responding to an issue people were having. Everything else is from is from a little bit ago. Did you say that there was like an update on mining or something? Here's something that they said about the FPS combat. People were saying it's really tough. Zach had a response to somebody. They said, I know I'm walking into a roast fest with skill issue and maybe you just suck. Either way, I think it needs to be said, FPS NPCs are brutal this patch and not in a fun way. They incap in seconds using custodians. Wow. Custodians, that sucks. He said, there is an issue we're currently tracking and looking into. It's compounded as well by having higher damaging weapons in the 4.4 mission locations, like the Dead Rig and Pulverizer. They seem to be ignoring their accuracy percentage. Cheers. So, yeah, basically just acknowledging that there's something wrong with the NPCs. They're not working as they're supposed to. And then a bunch of people are like, don't nerf it, don't nerf it, don't nerf it, please, please, don't nerf it. Leave it as is, don't nerf it. Everybody's like, please leave it. We'll see. Definitely got to find some balance. It would be nice to know that if you go to one place, the NPCs are much harder than if you go to another place. I don't think we have that yet. It seems like everybody's kind of the same skill level. But that might be what's coming in 4.5 with the FPS updates, FPS NPC updates they're doing. The trailer has the Arastra? I'm pretty sure that was the mole. Talk about the mining scene. Eight seconds. That's the Perseus, man. And that's the C2 down there. And that is a caterpillar. I don't think there's an Arastra in this trailer.
Makes this place
too, right?
Unless it's like down here when they're mining.
But the simple...
No, that's a mole down there. Prospector, golem, prospector. Really disappointed in FPS combat so far in SC. Hope they can fix it. What would you like to see in FPS combat changed in Star Citizen? Alright, this weekend Star Citizen is out. Let's see what's going on in... Basically, this is the main week of IAE. Last week, obviously, was the big hype when everything started, but this is our main actual everyday is IAE kind of week. So, potentially the most important week for them of the entire year in terms of funding. On Monday, they will be bringing in Kruger's newest variant in an episode of Behind the Ships. We just watched that. This is the L-22 Alpha Wolf, the laser repeater version. On Wednesday, we will get another behind the scenes as we get acquainted with the latest offering from Grey Cat. That is... there are examples of what people think that might be, but I don't know. On Thursday, Star Citizen Live features a Q&A with the content design and vehicle teams discussing all the new ships unveiled at IAE 2955, and on Friday we get the RSI newsletter. It's a pretty straightforward week, to be honest. It's just IAE stuff, ship advertisements talking about ships. For those like myself who are looking for more feature talk and stuff, I don't think we're going to get too much this week, except maybe in the Q&A. A live Q&A with developers usually leads to something interesting coming out. It's already on the show floor, so there's no speculation. What is it? MTD. Okay, so it's the truck with the PDC in it. And this sounds like it's basically like a air defense system that you can like set and forget. Maybe you put them around your outposts. I wonder if they make something like this because they just made the base building version of it that we want to do in our own bases at some point. All right, y'all. Any last questions today? Any other topics that anybody wants to see covered? Start a fire, talk about engineering. Man, I think everybody's probably tired of me talking about engineering. I feel like I've gone into it too many times at this point. It's literally like I feel like I'm telling the same people the same thing every week when I talk about engineering and why it's coming in. So I actually kind of don't want to, because I think people are just going to start to leave. But yeah, that is a contentious one right now. What crafting capabilities do I think the Clipper will have? Well, they mentioned it. Just personal items, weapons, armor, stuff like that. What's the next new ship expected this IAE? Ship I don't know if there are any more ships that are expected. There is a truck. Although it would be fitting for them to bring in a new ship towards the end of the event, just to kind of close it out with a bang. I don't think that it would be worth ending it on a Jeep. Oh, I know you're messing with me. Wumpus, good to see you. Chief Tygon, you as well. Clutchness, you've watched all my videos on it? I'm hoping you get it pretty well then. Do I have any idea what science gameplay will be like with the Endeavor? No, actually. No, I have no idea. The Endeavor is a crazy ship. I have no clue what they're gonna do about it. See that the railing jumped up to 640 SCU? Yeah, I saw that they made a little change to the railing concept. Do I think the Clipper is the new path for CIG on smaller ships that are multi-role? I think we'll probably see more of them. They wouldn't have named it its own ship type if they weren't going to make more of them. So I think you can expect more from other companies. The Galaxy Brigadier? Oh man, don't hurt people like that. Dude, that's crazy. I was just sitting here looking at this page of videos of their YouTube channel, and I was looking at this, seeing that this was the trailer for Nick's releasing, and I looked at this and I saw, oh, Q&A Ship Showdown. Did that somehow happen during IAE and I haven't noticed it? And I realized it's 3 months ago. It's crazy. They're not even, there's no, it's just weird. There's so little content coming out that the videos are 3 months old, but they're still like on the front page of the videos view. Appreciate you, Jaybird. Hope you're having a good day though, Bob. Is YouTube chat not popping up? I don't see it in the pop-up text. No, we have a problem with the new streaming host. It's not making YouTube chats pop up in here just yet. It's still the Twitch chats. Trying to figure it out though. I'm looking into it. Why do I think they didn't make a Clipper starter package? Maybe they don't want to confuse people about it being a starter. Like all the bigger ships and starter packages are very clearly not starters, but this one maybe they feel could be confused. I don't know. They want to sell more of them standalone? I'm not sure. Will engineering make soloing larger ships impossible? No. I think it'll make being efficient with them pretty difficult though. Depends on what you want to do with a larger ship. I think you can still cargo haul in a Hull C, even with engineering gameplay. Rognan, you heard a rumor recently. The owners of the Glaive and Scythe will be keeping their current limited models. When Squadron 42 comes out, a new wave of Vandal ships will go up on sale, and the owners of the old models will not get the updated versions. Rather, they will phase out the models like they did with the F7s. Do you or people in chat know if this is true? I do not know if that's true. I'm thinking they're just gonna update the models. I don't think they would have both versions in the game. If they did though, I think they should be skins and people who have the old version should be able to switch between them. But currently the only ship that was supposed to be treated in the way that the Hornets were treated were the Hornets. And they were very specific about that throughout that time. They've never said anything like that about the Vandal ships, so I'm not sure. Yeah, you're going to be out of luck if you get attacked flying solo like that, for sure. You bit the bullet and bought the game County Line. It's awesome. You're enjoying it. Good to hear, man. I'm glad it's fun for you. Maverick, thank you for the bits, buddy. Thanks for the support today. I appreciate you. It's not really a starter, but they have non-starter ships with starter packages. So if you go to game packages, they even have like the Cutlass Black starter pack. I guess they don't call them starter pack after the Cutlass Black. Otherwise, they're calling them actual things. These are all like real ship packs. So the most expensive ship that comes with a game package is the Cutlass. This might be as high as they're willing to go. Could be a pricing thing, could be anything. Man, these sales though. They're not discounting anything to the $45. Usually they would like take this and make it $45. Do I think the freezers of the 400i will give an advantage when engineering arrives? Yes, I also think it'll give an advantage for cargo hauling and cold spaces. Yeah, $1,500 package. This has got like, this is what, 4 or 5 ships? It's got 6 ships in it. So these are, it's not a starter pack. This is you want a whole bunch of different things when you buy the game pack. Most people are not buying that. Okay, except maybe you. But this is usually, it's these kinds of things that those articles are complaining about when they're like, there's a $15,000 ship. There's not. It's 30 different ships. 30 ships plus a bunch of money plus a copy of the game plus some like skin stuff maybe, I don't know. But yeah, these are like, it's a whole bunch of ships and they're not, definitely not cheap ships. Jesus, this is a lot of stuff, man. And I don't even think you can see this kind of stuff unless you've spent a certain amount of money in the game already. No Q&A for the aux. Not much attention to the aux. You'd love to know how many of those packages were purchased. So say we all. All right, y'all. I'd like to thank you everybody for being here today. Thank you for listening and following along. Appreciate you in the chat. Y'all are great. Great part of the day, great part of the week. I hope you guys had a good time. Hope all your questions were answered, if you've had any. And you got to enjoy some spaceship stuff. Trace, you got a quick question? Okay. Tomorrow's stream? Maybe we'll get into game tomorrow and we'll test out some of these new ships like the Alpha Wolf. Get some good gameplay out of it. See what stuff is going on. Back for the drops. Do I think they will bring the Wolf weapons to be used on any ship and buyable in shops? Buyable in shops, yes. I don't think they're going to make them available for any ship. I think the point is to have these weapons sitting outside of the rest of the ship selection so they can balance them more appropriately for the specific ships they're on. But we'll see. Thank you everybody for being here for another good stream. I hope you got your drops today. If not yet, if not, then we'll be back tomorrow or Wednesday to help you out. Make sure to get in on that giveaway for the Clipper and enjoy yourselves, folks. Make the most of life and and all the days we have. No secret draw. No winners yet. No secret draw. All right. Bye, everybody. Much love. Have a good one. I'll see you next one.